Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Henry. What a goal! Side of goal! And what a goal!
What's the crack? What is the bleeding story? How are you all doing? Hope you are well. Enjoying. I hope it's sunny day in England as well. Sunny day in Ireland. Getting me tan on here. Working away out the back. But anyway, let's get down to business. Leeds, Leicester relegated. Shy. Let's be honest about it. There's one thing, look, come here. I don't want to start off negative or anything like that, but there's one thing that wrecked me head. And I was just hearing the whole Shaka thing, the whole we want you to stay, really let's just sort of cut to the bullshit here. Like, why would you want him to stay at Arsenal? Captain, throws the armband on the ground, giving the fans the stick. And the same probably fans that were giving him the stick were the fans that were fucking kissing his ass there today. And like that for me sums up the Arsenal fan base. That, bowing down to this guy, like, who the fuck is he? He's on 100 plus a week, a fucking week. Think about that, okay? Just think about it, because I'll tell you, I'm not on 100 grand a fucking year. Never mind a fucking week, okay? And these clowns are there in the stadium, okay? And they're sucking the fucking arse and the balls off him, wanting him to stay, begging him to stay at this club. There's your problem right there. It's not the Kroenkes. It's not Arteta. It's not Edu. It's them fan base right there. They're accepting this fucking bullshit. Dell, we finished. How many points is behind City? We're challenging. We're this. We're that. You know what I mean? Warren sent me a thing on WhatsApp today, and it was the 1989 final, the celebrations in the dressing room. Tony Adams there, fucking giving it large. Okay, there's your captain right there. Fucking had to sit down in the dressing room. He was exhausted from the shift he had to put in. That's the captain that you want at the club. No, we'll go back to Xhaka. He's earning probably in a year what Tony Adams has made in a lifetime. You know what I mean? But we're accepting this. Not good enough. It's not good enough for me. And I'm sorry if people disagree with me, but I'm not having that standard. Kyle Walsh always says to me, the standards have to be up there. And he's a fucking right. Because if you don't have the standards up there, guess what happens? You come second in the league with 0 trophies. And we're going to come into this as well. I'm going to ask a few of the guests that come in here today. Who has had the better season, Man United or Arsenal? They've won a trophy. They're in a major competition final. It's called the FA Cup. Something I hold very high in my eyes. Not everyone might agree with me, and that's fair enough. But it's a major trophy for me, and they're in the final. Who's had the better season, people? Who is after having the better season? I'm going to read out a few of the chats here before I get in and get a few of the people on. And by the way, what I forgot to do, hold on, I'll do it right now. I'm going to put the link in the description. And if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. As always, show the face. Don't show the face. If you have sunburn, tanned, not tanned, whatever, come on and have your say of Arsenal's season. And I seen this earlier on. I was looking at this when I was out in my backyard and just looking at this. Craig, big up, mate. Del Boy, here's a stat for you. Days at the top without winning the league. Arsenal, 2002-3, 189 days. 7-8, 156 days, 13, 14, 128 days, 22, 23, 248 days. We are breaking records. Wow. Okay, I'll move on. Big up TJ, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, brother. Carl Rossi's in the house. What's the story, mate? Dell, just seeing your message on Insta. Once I get a decent headset on, 100%. And that what he's relating to there is I'm getting Carl Rossi, Jaminho. I'm going to get another few people. I want you to, or even mail me yourself on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Just send me a quick mail if you want to come on. I'm going to do it in about a week or two. Get a few you legends that are always in the chat. Get a few yous on. Give you your say. You don't have to show your face if you don't want. I don't mind. Like, you know what I mean. I'll have my ugly mush on the screen, so that's probably enough for people. But yeah, please do message me if you're interested in coming on, because that's going to be a deadly show and I'm looking forward to it. Big up Del Boy. What's the bleeding story, fella? Mr. B, I'm banning you from YouTube for fucking trying to put on an Irish accent. You made a bleeding balls of it. I'm only messing. I was listening into his show earlier on and he was trying to do an Irish accent. Didn't do too good, but not too bad either, I suppose. Hopefully I get to hop on too. Yeah, of course, mate. You seen that the link is just there. You're more than welcome, Del. You're such a diva, bro. I know. I had to get the old hair looking good. Makeup now. See the lines there? That's only tan. I'm bleeding white as a fucking milk bottle, but I suppose that'll turn into tan and it'll be nice and looking good. Sorry, geez, I missed. Oh, me mate, Uncle Rods. What's the story? Have a good show. Thanks, mate. Please do check out his channel. He's a great Liverpool fan. I always check out his channel actually a lot. Great guy. Great win. Shame it meant fuck all. Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you one thing now in a minute. Del Boy getting dog groomed. Yeah, fucking right I was, yeah. Yous are bleeding jokers already. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through the old fucking things here. Like and subscribe, people. Get this channel growing. Exactly. Get it growing. Growing wings, growing fucking legs, growing everything. Big up Del Boy, my brother. Successful season. The question is, did you guys, Lenny's a Man United supporter, who had the better season, Arsenal or Man United? Please do drop it into the comments. I'll tell you what I think later on. But anyway, Early Doors Football TV, check this channel out now. All right? Big up Del Boy, big up Early Doors. I actually seen you in Warren's talk, Warren team talks earlier on. I checked your channel out and there's a sub going your way, mate. Big time. Big up Del Boy, you fucking legend. Cheers, mate. Cheers, Carl. Big up Del, my bro. Another fucking legend in the bleeding chat, and it's Ryan. What's the bleeding story, everyone? Big up everyone in the chat. Del Boy, Jaminho's in the gaff, another legend coming on the show. As I said, Del Boy, Arsenal hammering Wolves in a meaningless, typical, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know what? I actually predicted fucking 5-0 myself in me fucking head. Because, like, what else would it have been? You know, Wolves don't give a bollocks. We wanted to prove a point. Oh, we're still there. And, yeah, whatever. This Leicester team going down is one of the most talented squads to go down in a long time. Most talented squad since Newcastle 2016. I agree with you there. And one of the things I keep fucking going on and on and on and on and on about is leadership. You have leadership, you'll have a winning team. It doesn't matter even if you don't have the talent, it'll drive you forward. It'll drive you on. You know what I mean? Leicester, you know, no leader for me. And that's the reason why they didn't go down. Prima donnas, everything like that, you know. Xhaka to stay for 2 seasons in the final master. Well, the way that they're fucking going on, I'll tell you, they want this fella signed up for the next 10 years. Joke. Ireland Ball, hello Del Boy. Ireland Ball, Gias Merigwich, as they say. Big up to you and thanks for dropping by, mate. Doesn't the performance today not bother you, but on the other hand, sickens you? Yeah. But do you know what, Ryan? A question for you, mate. Were you not surprised? Are you surprised? You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, I've been talking shite enough here. I have to get a few legends into the old stream and say hello to a few of them. It'll be our last fan call for this season, but not the last call at all, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do my usual Thursday night, and I'll probably do another one during the weekend as well. And I have a load of shit to do, being honest with you, over the summer I'm going to probably do a few videos. Arsenal fan transferring just in the no fucking nothing. I'll try and fucking say one or two things and see what they're saying. Wind up AFTV because them are a virus to the fucking Arsenal fan base. Anyway, I'm gonna hit up Annie there. I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure if you can, but give us a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thoughts on today?
Yeah, Del, first of all, I can hear you clearly. I think your connection might be frozen. My connection might be frozen. I don't know. Let me also start with an Arsenal connection by congratulating Aston Villa and our former manager, Unai Emery. All the way from nearly being relegated in 17th position to qualifying for European competition in the Conference League. Definitely my candidate for manager of the season, Mikel Arteta. Ha! And I'm actually watching the highlights of the game, i.e. the goals. I regret to say I didn't see the Arsenal game because it wasn't being screened where I am. We had Brentford City and United Fulham. And, well, it looks as though Del Boy's connection has sort of, acted up on him. So until he comes back, I will speak and I will... I'm just seeing the highlights now. Jose Sarr having a dreadful game with 2 errors, one for Xhaka's first, another one for Jakub Kiwior, and this could very well be Julian Lopetegui's last Wolves game as manager. I didn't see this, and I'm actually going to continue where Del Boy left off by answering his question. United have had a far more successful season. Won a trophy. Also finished in the top 4, one place below us with not as much points as we've had, but still they get the same reward that we do. And they also have a trophy, and they could potentially win another one next week. And I will be cheering for them through gritted teeth against Manchester City because I do not want to see them winning that treble and lording it over everyone. I couldn't stand that. And it's probably a good thing that I didn't see it because for what you said there, Del, the tributes to Xhaka, oh my goodness, that would have been sickening. All those fans in the stadium bigging up the team, bigging up the players, staying till the end, applauding them, saying, "We love you, Arsenal, we do. Oh, Arsenal, we love you." My first question is, where in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit were you idiots when we went down 2-0 against Brighton? You've hit the nail on the head. The fans are the ones who are responsible. The fans are complicit. The same morons who broke into song singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" after West Ham beat Tottenham to deny them Champions League football and end up securing our place in the top 4. That was the start of the standards of the fans dropping. And you can see for yourself that when the standards of the fans drop, everything completely goes to pot. And I'm like I said, I'm glad I didn't see that game. I knew that Tierney wasn't starting. He ended up getting a 10-minute run out after Kiwior scored his goal. And if I were him, I would have told Arteta to go F himself, and then that would have hastened my exit from the club. But model professional that he is, I wish him good luck at his next club. A lot of people have been predicting Newcastle would sign him. I think Aston Villa might have a better chance of getting him. They could be saying goodbye to Luca Digne, and Alex Moreno will miss pre-season and maybe the start of the next season. So he might go over there. And Gabriel Jesus scoring. Where the hell were you when we needed you, son? And Xhaka getting 2 on his farewell. Saka scoring once when it didn't matter. The only thing that probably would have sickened me was if Eddie Nketiah came on and scored, and he would have done his ridiculous "call me maybe" celebration. For crying out loud. Last season, we beat Everton 5-1. Didn't matter one jot. We weren't going to qualify for the Champions League. This season, the same story. We score 5 goals. Everyone thinks it's hunky-dory. Now, to those of you who are following me on Instagram, I've just posted a story. It's a text story, and I'm going to read it for you right now. Improvement does not equal success. We had better make sure we do that business next season. It's as simple as that. Because how can any serious fan in their right mind call blowing an 8-point lead and throwing away 3 cups a successful season? How dare they try to pull the wool over our eyes like that and say we should be proud of the season we've had? How dare these ex-players like Martin Keown, Lee Dixon, Ray Parl and company, who've long since sold their souls, try to convince us that we are we should be proud of the season we've had. Thank God for Tony Adams, who told it like it was on Sky Sports one day, saying, we should have done better. Our tactics were dreadful, and we didn't deserve anything. Next season is the litmus test. Next season, we are having competition. Next season, other teams are going to want to, try and knock us off this so-called perch, as it were. City are going to rebuild. They'll be confident. Manchester City will always be better than us. We were slapped 7-2 by them on aggregate. And Brentford, of all people, big up to Mr. B, by the way, have done the double over them this season. Of course, City deserved to lose because they put out a poor team and they clearly didn't take the match seriously. But still, Brentford had to do their bit, and they did. Such a shame they won't be getting European football, but c'est la vie. And Aston Villa under Unai Emery, a man who is everything as a manager that Mikel Arteta will never, ever be, and a man with more class in his pinky than Arteta has in his own body. He's taken a team, as I said, who were threatened with relegation all the way to European qualification. As I said, my candidate for manager of the season. I'm sorry it didn't work out at Arsenal, but he belongs at a club like Aston Villa who are willing to back him and support him, and they're going to be cooking next season. And as I said, they might end up getting Kieran Tierney. And other clubs, Liverpool are going to rebuild. Don't forget maybe one or two others who could easily upset us once they strengthen and get a little bit better. A team like us, which contrives to lose against Nottingham Forest and draw against West Ham and Southampton, where they are on the table in the clutch stage of the season, we don't deserve to win anything. And we need to make sure that we remember that and not let this 5-0 win paper over those cracks. Disgusting. And I might sound harsh criticizing second place, but the way we bottled it and threw away those cups, we make all this season an improvement, but it's not a success. And let's remember that. Sorry for talking my tongue off as always.
No, you're fine, mate, because, me internet, for some fucking reason, is acting the bollocks. I think it's maybe it reacts, the airwaves and the electronic field that I give out, I have here is probably upsetting my internet connection, but there's a fella there that doesn't look too happy, and he's down to me underneath you, Manny, and it's the fella Kyle Walsh-Gunner. Where was this team? Let's
I'm
say
sitting on top of a
games.
volcano. Pray for me.
Put a bit of light on this for us.
Listen, the volcano's about to erupt, and I'm on top of the volcano. Pray for me.
You could be in trouble, Manny. Big up to your brother. Big up, Gemma. And that boy, as usual, legend. And all the legends that's in the chat. Let's get something straight. This club is an embarrassment. I'm like a broken record. I come on every show and I said the same thing, because the same thing happens week in, week out, year in, year out. 30 years ago, we won the Cup Winners' Cup against Parma. 30 years ago. We're coming up to the 20th year anniversary of no league title. That's 50 years span in this club history of failure. Not good enough. Now you talk to me about Manchester United. Had they a better season than Arsenal Football Club? 100% they have. Champions League football, Carling Cup, and just about to have a great chance winning the most prestigious cup competition in world football on Saturday. Now, what the fuck have we achieved? Zero. As usual. And the fan base today gives a standing ovation. And they're excited and celebrate. My question is, what are you celebrating? What have we won? What have we achieved? People say we got second place. So what? What are we going to do in the Champions League next season? We're giving out contracts to Reece Nelson, for God's sake. What do you think we're going to do in the Champions League with players like that? Kia Ward. The list goes on. Odegaard is their captain. They're getting dogs. Calling the dog win. Why are you getting the dog in? Why are you calling it a win? What have we won? The club is embarrassing. The fan base are a joke. They're giving a hero salute to Shaka. The same man took his jersey off, his captaincy off, threw it to the ground, and gave the fans the fuck off and the ears. And the fan base turns around today and they're clapping him out the feed. We want you to stay. We want you to stay. 7 years ago, after 2 games of seeing Shaka playing, I did a video. Check it out. I said I would put Shaka in my car and I will personally drive him to the airport and I get him out of the UK and never to return. After 2 games in his Arsenal career. And what has he done? He stayed there 7 years. What has he done? He's made 71.5 million sterling on wage at Arsenal Football Club. That's what he's done. Laughable. The club is a joke. The club is going nowhere fast. I want people to understand that. You're talking about next season. I'll tell you about next season. We're winning nothing again. We're coming nowhere again. We won't even make top 4. I was in the shop yesterday. I was buying my mother something for her birthday. And a man walked past me that I don't know. And that happens to me. People know me because of Arsenal. That's it. I don't know these people. But a man walked past me and he said to me, "You were spot on too, Kai." And I looked down, I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, 6 months ago, you said that Arsenal wouldn't have a hope in the Premier League. He said, you were spot on. I didn't believe you, but you were spot on. One of my best mates today rang me, a Man United fan, and he apologised to me. He said, "Kyle, you have been 100% right all this time. No one believed you. Everyone thought that Arsenal was going to win the league." I said, "I'm supporting the club 38 years. I know the club inside out. I know the mentality. I know that the players that we have are not good enough. And I'm proved right like we all are. I'm absolutely disgusted with this fan base. I am disgusted with certain players on this squad. I'm disgusted with the ownership and I'm disgusted with the management. Not good enough. The standards are on the floor. And the worst thing about this, lads, we have to go through the same shit, except to be worse next season. Yep. And believe my words when I say it, because I'm always right. Next season is going to be total failure. Shocking.
Like, I just want to sort of bring up this first of all, and it was only something I was thinking about today. Like McAllister, what a player! Okay, he fits into the Arsenal team straight away, like levels straight away. He brings us up, but we won't get him because there's so many clubs after him, and I like we have no like Edu, for example. I'm a business owner. I have people working for me, okay? If Edu came in and I had to talk business with Edu, he'd leave with probably no fucking T-shirt on or fucking... I'd leave him upside down, basically. Just put it that way. Because there's absolutely no mentality of business or, like, you know, fucking trying to play hardball or trying to just go, no, this is what needs to be done. Like, you know, stuff like that. He's a yes man. To me, he is a yes man. I was going to do a video yesterday and I recorded it. And I was so angry in it, I had to delete it. And I was giving out about Edu. I actually said to myself, Del, you cannot put that on the internet because I was fuming. And Edu was at the bottom of me barrel there. And I laid into him because I read comments that he said over in ESPN Brazil. So he's over in ESPN. He's in Brazil. So he's in this nice little... He's surrounded by people who love him. So he was in ESPN. People loved him and all this shit or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? And he started going on about Arsenal and what to do and what next to do. Mate, we last 10 games of the league, we bottled it. We bottled it. He said we didn't. I cannot see, and I'm sure everyone that's in the chat cannot see how we did not bottle it. Please tell me how we did not bottle it, because we fucking did. Liverpool, 2-0 up. Southampton, losing 3-1. West Ham, losing 2-0. Bournemouth, just survived. We were celebrating, like staff and everything running onto the field when we drew it, when we got the equaliser. That's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. And I don't care what anyone says to me. Del, you're second. That is fucking embarrassing. Everton today. 1-0 against Bournemouth. Scraped into the fucking league. We give them fucking 3 points. There you are. And for the league. Do yourself a favour. Wake the fuck up if you think that this is a fucking regime that's going to fucking win us titles. We won nothing this season. Nothing. 0. We might as well be Everton. 0. Celebrating today. There's only 2 teams that celebrate today. It was Everton and Arsenal. Why? Why? Fucking joke. Mr. B, I hope you were celebrating. What a team you have. Yeah. The mentality of your team is unbelievable. 2 times you Man City. The Etihad and at home. But we're on the plane. So what? You have to go out and play a football game. And fair play to Brentford. Yeah. Big up to you, mate.
Cheers, bro.
What did you think of today's game?
Well, our game or yours? Which one? Well, our game I'm very happy with because we've done the double over City, you know, the Premiership champions. And we're the only other team to do that, apart from Liverpool this season, to do a double over them. So, you know, very happy with that, man. Yeah, obviously we ain't got Europe. That's the only other thing. But we was kind of relying on Brighton and Leeds to win. So, and they obviously didn't. So no Europe for us, I'm afraid. But, you know, top 10 finish. So I'm quite happy with that, man, you know. To finish in the top 10, you know, second season. You know, you can't ask more than that, you know. So, as for your match, well, you done it when it don't fucking matter, innit? 5-0 against Wolves when it don't fucking matter, innit? When the pressure's off. It's the same, innit? Same old Arsenal at the end of the day. So, you know, it'd be, as you say, it'd be the same next year, wouldn't it? It'd be rinse and repeat next year, the same old story, man, you know? And by the way, I'm not going to do the Irish accent today. Not now, man, because I know it's shocking, my Irish accent. So I won't do it again, man. So because I know I'll be banned otherwise. So
yeah, Mr. B, listen. I definitely detect that thick Cockney accent from you or something similar. So you try and do an Irish accent is not going to sound good. Me, I'm from the southeast, so it's a little bit more, a little bit softer. So I could try it.
Yeah, why don't you have a go then, Manny? Go on, Manny. Go on.
Yeah. No, I don't want Del Boy to ban me. No, I'll send him a voice message on Instagram. If he bans me, I'll never live it down.
Come on, fella. Come on. You can have a go. Go on.
You're okay. You're okay. My ears are still ringing after Mr. B trying that earlier on his channel. And by the way, everyone, please do check out Mr. B's channel. Subscribe if you're not already. He's a great guy.
Smash the like, subscribe. Come on.
Look, it's free. It's free of charge. But I'm going to go to Gemma. Gemma has been waiting here silently, quietly. I hope you're not going to scream at me. But Gemma, 5-0 today.
Sorry, cut out then.
I was just saying 5-0 today. What's Del Boy giving out about? We're booming. We're bossing the place.
I think I celebrated more for Brentford's goal.
Cheers, Gemma.
It's all right.
Thanks for that.
And I had a hamster in my hand, so I was going crazy. And Khan was like, "You've got the hamster." I was like, "Oops."
Hope you didn't throw him out.
No.
Didn't throw him up in the air, did you? Oh,
Well, he might have had a bit more passion than fucking half the Arsenal team. Anyway, you know. Another one in the chat I just want to say hello to is the Warren. Big old Warren, hope you're well, mate.
I've got this for Arsenal, if that counts.
Yeah. Bottle there. But is there any Arsenal players in that, Gemma?
Huh?
Yeah, the bottle jobs.
Any Arsenal players? Warren, big up to you, mate. I was watching your watch-alongs and stuff like that, and fair play to you. It's not easy. Very enjoyed the show, to be honest with you. What did you make of the starting lineup? Because I know there's a certain player that you weren't happy with that wasn't there.
Mate, it's a shambles. Can you hear me all right, by the way?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. No, listen, what was it? We had right back was Party. Then we had centre backs of, was it Gabriel and I don't know, some other joker, and then Kirior at left back. Mate, if Kieran Tierney's not sold this summer, I will eat my hat. And I reckon I know where he's going to end up. I think he's going to end up at Man City. But
big call.
Yeah, but he's been linked to Man City. And I think it was part of the deal that brought Jesus and Zinchenko here last summer. That it was probably all agreed then that he'd go there this summer, that Arteta would keep him here for another year because City need a left back. And yeah, mate, I'm not happy. Well, you all know how I'm feeling about this club at the moment. I think big changes are needed, and I'm going to try and do everything I can to try and make sure it happens. But I can't do it on my own. I need other people to help me. So, you know, we have to. The problem is we've got an ownership that doesn't care. We've got a manager and senior management team that haven't got the prerequisite skills, experience, or personal qualities to do the job. And then all through the club, there's question marks. You know, you've got to question mark the treatment of the injuries. You've got to question the development of youth players. I've said the last couple of days, how many young players have come through from the youth team since Arteta has been here and are now regulars in the starting 11? Because I can't think of one, and I just find that shocking. When George Graham was here, there's about 5, 6, maybe more of them who come up through the youth ranks. And it could save the club millions and millions of pounds. I just don't understand. And not only that, when they come up through the youth ranks, they're going to have a feeling for the club. People like Tony Adams, Rocky Rocastle. Those boys would have died for Arsenal. Martin Keown. I mean, he's questionable views about the club at the moment. But when he was playing for Arsenal, that man would have bled for the club. So with Tony Adams and Paul Merson and all these. Why are we not bringing players of that ilk through the youth academy now? I just find it shocking, mate. And then, you know, we've got players rocking up at the club, right, who have never had an injury before in their career. And when they get to Arsenal, they can't stop getting injured. What the hell's going on at this club?
Like, Warren, I want to sort of Can I just sort of elaborate on what you're saying? Okay, is there players out there that are like that are passionate for their club now, or do we just have to accept that football's going in a different route and there's no passion there anymore? Like it's just money, money, money.
Maybe, but these players got to come through from somewhere. They don't just suddenly appear 23, 24 years old and then, like, you know, they must come through from somewhere. Otherwise, where are they coming from? They're not like coming down in a spaceship from Mars, are they? So why is it we can't produce them? You know, for me, I'd be looking to invest a lot of money in the development of young players. I mean, you look at Barcelona's La Masia and places like that, bringing through people like Messi and Xavi and all these like top world-class players. Why can't we do that? Because we've done it before. You know, Tony Adams, Paul Merson, Rocky Rocastle. You know, I just find it absolutely shocking. And yet, things have moved on. And, like, there is a lot more emphasis on going and getting the finished article and stuff like that. But at least if we brought players up through the youth team, they'd have some feeling for the club. And they wouldn't be just, like, throwing in the towel as easily as what this lot are now. Like, you know, the likes of Granit Xhaka, I'm sorry, but it's just... It's unbelievable. That guy... that he's been here for 6 years. Like, I was telling my show today, I'm struggling to think of another player who's as bad as he was at Arsenal. Honestly, I'm struggling. I can't think of one. Up until this season, honestly, I'd have to say I think he's the worst player I've ever seen at the club. And how he's managed to stay here for that length of time, I find absolutely disgusting. You know, the like sending offs, the giving away of stupid penalties, the giving away of stupid goals. The one that sticks out in my mind is the game at Burnley when he passed the ball across his own penalty area without even looking and gifted Burnley an equalising goal. You know, grabbing people. Sorry, Del Boy.
No, you're fine. Like I know what you mean. Like, you know, I just want to read out Paul's comment here. Arsenal, like every other club, don't care about all fans. It's business to fill their coffers. That I do agree 100%. And big up to Paul. I love Paul. He's a great Welsh man. I love the guy. We've had a great debate actually and stuff like that. But like just to elaborate on that, like me being at the Emirates, they're selling Prime. People probably heard this before. And I'm going to embarrass Arsenal now because they deserve embarrassment because the promotion they put out earlier on today, they're giving it all. We love the fans and stuff like that. They don't love you. They don't love the fans. Trust me on that because they're fucking embarrassing the fans. All right? And the reason why they're embarrassing the fans, Prime, if you don't know Prime, I have 2 young boys, okay? In Ireland, in the UK, it's very hard to get a hold of it, okay? So what they're selling in the Emirates, okay, in the Emirates, now you remember this, Prime is a sponsor of Arsenal, okay? I went, last game was at the Emirates, I bought a pint, okay, mental money, and then Zach was with me young boy, and he goes, Dad, can I get a Prime? And I says, yeah, no bother, son. They were charging me something like £7 for a bottle of an energy fucking drink, okay? And he had the cheek to give me the fake bottle. They were selling fake bottles of Prime. And I swear on my fucking... that I may drop dead. It's fake. How do you know it's fake, Del? Hold on. You don't call me Del Boy for fucking nut. All right? Because on your Prime bottle, okay, you have 4 ridges. 4 little dents on it. Okay, they're the real bottles. At Arsenal, they had 2 ridges, so they're fake. And when you one-handed me the fake bottle, I said, "Sorry, love, that's fake. You're not selling me a fake drink for my son. I don't What the fuck is in that? It's fake. It could be all sorts of chemicals in the fucking thing. And you want to give that to my son. And I'm at Arsenal. They sponsor Arsenal. I got the fucking ball. I says, love, we'll put that back, all right? And you give me a real bottle. And they ended up giving me a real bottle. I recorded it. I'll try and get it on my phone and I'll throw it up on me thing just to prove to everyone. And everyone there around me going, what's going on here? And you know what I mean? So that's a pure example of these people do not care about you. They don't care about Arsenal. They don't give a fuck about you chanting Shaka forever and sign them up and stuff like that. They're a disgrace. They're a business. We're nothing to them. We're the thorn in their side.
Well, boy, if I could just cut right, I'm gonna cut right in here, and then I want to get Matt on. Big up to Mr. Odin, by the way. I was on his show yesterday. Top fella, and I really, really enjoy talking with him. But listen, I'm just going to say this briefly. It's very ironic. I'm sure that you, our other friends in the chat, and especially one will remember Only Fools and Horses, and of course how the title character was also called Del Boy. He made a living, a killing out of selling fake merchandise, and we've actually got some real Del Boys, trotters working over there, and thankfully we've got a Del Boy gunner who's smart enough to know which is fake and which is real. I don't know if this is life imitating art, but boy, it is no coincidence.
I'm telling you now. But I want to bring in the busiest man on YouTube today. How are you doing, brother?
Hey man, doing good, man, doing good. Today was just a day of you're just glad the season's over with. I just told Lee, I said, there's one good thing about today, ladies and gentlemen. That is Granite Xhaka is gone from this club. It is such a feeling. I just thought I'd never see the day.
Matt, listen, Matt, let me just cut in, but we need to lead a song. Nah. Hey. Goodbye.
Yes. But I will say this too, man. It was an absolute disgrace to look at our fans today. They were jumping around like they were at a U2 concert today. They was celebrating all over the place. It was banners galore. You would have thought we were promoted today. You would have thought we won the title. You would have thought, that everything was well. And it's just the day was a sad end to the season, to what could have been. And there's a lot to learn from this season as Arsenal fans. We need to demand more. I stated earlier, and I'll say it again here, that for years we heard talk about this Champions League will provide us with better players, Del Boy, that we will be able to compete with Europe's elite now and bringing in talent. Well, here is the opportunity. Here's the chance. And I want to see what we're going to do. As far as I'm concerned, we should be announcing deals within the next 2 weeks. We should have people coming in. We should be ready to roll by the time the season gets here. We should have one signing that's over the line by the time we get to August. Everybody should be here. But we all know the reality of the fact is that that's probably not going to happen. We may have one player in, and we'll probably have some youngster from somewhere, and they'll say we're still working on trying to get deals over the line. Gentlemen, today was an advertisement for tickets for next year. For those Americans who are over there that want to get a taste of it, it was advertisements for you to go pay $300, $400, $500 to go watch this team play out in LA or New York or Dallas. No. This season, next season, people are gonna look back at this season and realize how big of a missed opportunity that this season was. And it's so unfortunate, y'all. We have sat here week in, week out, and now that this season is over with, the retrospection will begin. People are going to start looking back because next season is going to be a lot different. I want everybody to enjoy the day while we got it, because next season it won't be like this next season. Next season is going to be a little bit more different. Hopefully, people will start waking up like we have. I told Warren yesterday, I'm going to start referring to all of us as the Extraordinary League of Rational Gentlemen, because we are the ones that are rational. We are the ones that will lead the brigade next year. Shout out to Jez in the chat. All of us have been saying this for the last several months. The reality is coming. The chickens are coming home to roost. That we will be proven right next year. And once again, Mikel Arteta and Edu will be exposed for the frauds that they are. We've just seen it the last couple of weeks. Everything just falling apart, and we're in the acceptance phase. The best part about it is we're all in the acceptance phase of that. We knew this season was over with 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now it's just a matter of we're ready to get this over with, which it is now over, and we're ready to move on to next season and see what the future beholds. So it's good to be here. Glad to see everybody, man. Enjoyed the chat the other day with you. I was listening to you all. I was driving back from South Carolina, and I enjoyed the chat with you all. And like I said, I'm just glad this season is over with, man. I'm just glad it's over with. And Shaka is out.
It was draining, to be honest with you. I've got a lot of stick. My phone is still melting here. I don't know how I can even see the screen. Just people just going, you thought you were in the league. And that's the disadvantage of putting your face on a platform and people fucking sending you clips going, yeah, mate, you said you were going to do this, you were going to do that. And look, didn't work out. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to say, mate, that message I left in the chat there, I wasn't trying to promote my channel, so I've retracted it, mate. I'm sorry about that. If you think I've done anything wrong,
Mr. B, on my channel, I couldn't give a fuck about my channel, to be honest with you. I'm only an Arsenal fan that just says shit off I shoot from the hip, you know what I mean? I will get banned from YouTube. I know that for a fact because I couldn't give a bollocks about what, once everyone's respectful to each other, I don't mind. And that's why after every one of my shows, I promote everyone's channels and I give them their time to share out their socials and stuff like that. So absolutely, just anyone throw their stuff in. It doesn't bother me. Once you're respectful, you know what I mean? But anyway, Manny, I just want to come to you. And one thing that's a bit bugging me is, what do we, Edu and his, he is the man in charge. Is he or is he not? First of all, that's my first question to you. Can you trust him now to add 5-6 players that we need into the squad to challenge again next season?
I couldn't trust that fella to add 5 and 6 together to get 11 because that guy will somehow make it 10. And yes, he is still for now the man in charge. And any guy like him who sees it fit to offer a sort of a hush payment to a Brazilian club to keep a business relationship with them, that guy is corrupt as hell. I mean, that has kickback written all over it. And I'm sick and tired of a lot of people getting excited about potential transfers. One thing which I believe will happen is that we're going to end up shopping in the bargain basement once again, because let's take it. Let's consider the fact that we only have about 200 million to spend. Are we really going to run the risk of wasting all that money on 2 world-class signings, Declan Rice and Caicedo, or even one of them? No, we can't afford to blow the entire budget. But with Leicester and Leeds and Southampton having gone down, several of their players are going to leave in a huge fire sale for the clubs in question. And of course, those 3 clubs are going to try and look to keep a certain core to help them stay up. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to try to buy from the bargain basement once again. Emphasis on basement, by the way. And maybe they will be sold at a bargain. And then hope that they will come in. Now, don't get me wrong. Several of those players are actually really good quality players. I'm looking at a certain Mr. Maddison for Leicester who would definitely improve a team. My only issue is that if we sign him and he ends up being on the bench while Odegaard plays every game, would it be worth it? I mean, in theory, we'd get competition. But, again, I think he really would improve the squad, but I just don't think Arteta will be able to manage him effectively. Somebody like Lavia, who literally ripped us a new one at the Emirates, he'd be someone I wouldn't mind, having. And in addition to Granit Xhaka certainly leaving, we've got several players who are certainly starting to come to the end of a cycle. Let's not forget that Jorginho will be leaving us at the end of next season once he's had his sojourn in the Champions League. We don't even know how long Thomas Partey will stay with us for. Can we afford to lose both of them at the same time? it's as if people are just oblivious to the crisis that could very well be going on, and nobody's willing to take it seriously. You know how they say ignorance is bliss? Well, the reason why the fans are so blissful right now is because they are so ignorant. It's scary. And so I really, all I can say is that I'll be looking to this particular transfer window and activity during the summer to see if we are serious about getting things done. And if we don't get anything done, then I'm gonna say this right now to every single Arsenal fan. Any of you people who see it fit to try to big the team up again and say we're going to do it again, we're going to go even better, and Arteta's built something really, really special, be prepared for a rude awakening. And you know, a lot of you will try to come back at us saying, well, you never predicted that we'd finish in the top four. We actually hoped for top four and a trophy. Where the hell's the trophy? And you're bigging up second place, forgetting the fact that we had our chance to win and blew it. You can't have the penny and the bun, people. You can't big up this young team as a group of achievers and then use that as an excuse when they failed. It's as simple as that. So back to Edu. Yes, he is the man in charge. Yes, he will definitely be under the scanner and will be on a huge hiding to nothing. And next season, and I'm sure Warren will agree with me, it will be up to us fans to make sure wherever we are, however, and whatever our position may be, we need to make sure that we make ourselves louder, more heard, and agitate for proper change. That is the only way things are going to happen. I hope the Cronkies will be forced to sell the club, and believe you me, if we start making enough noise and making a ruckus, the Cronkies themselves will also, because they don't like controversy, end up deciding, you know what, maybe it isn't worth holding on to this club. And I know that a lot of people are having ideas of getting an Arab billionaire coming in. Personally, I think if I never see another Arab billionaire again, it will be too soon. We need to send an SOS to Daniel Ek and ask him to reconsider and bring back a better bid. But first of all, we need to make sure that the Cronkies are pressured enough to get out, and then we contact Mr. Ek. Until then, it will be the same thing year in, year out, the same incompetence from the board, the same incompetence from the manager, the same poor results from the team when it matters, and it goes on and on and on. And you know, and more and more fans are going to get tired of this. So, Edu, you're a marked man. The ball's in your court, son. You were no great shakes as a player. Now you've got to prove your worth as a board member.
Thanks, Manny. Kyle, I sort of want to come to you with the question, the sort of opinion that I said, well, the facts that I said earlier on about the club, and they don't like the fan base. They just want your money, buy the merch, everything like that. How do you feel about what I've said to you there? Like, you know, they're selling fake bottles of Prime and, you know, stuff like that. It just sort of sums up the club for me, as in it's not the club it was years ago and for the fans and all this sort of stuff. Well, what's your take on it, mate?
Sorry, I'm going to start off by this saying this, there, boy. Not going to hurt anybody's feelings. Everyone's entitled to do what they want. I saw a comment there saying that for me to cheer up, because I see a bit of joking going on between us all there. I wasn't laughing. I'm not in the mood to laugh, there, boy. I'm not in the mood. Today is not a day for laughing. Today is a day of hurt, sadness. The club, as far as I'm concerned, is stoned. It's over. It's over for the next 10 years, there, boy. We're not going to compete for a league title for the next 10 years. You're talking there about the merchandise, there, boy. About the fake Prime bottle. That's just an example. They're also selling stuff, there, boy, that's authentic, such as this new jersey, this new home kit. I said it big up to Matt there from the USA. An absolute pleasure to be on the show out there yesterday. And you have the gold strips and you have the record from the Invincibles going up along the side of it. And it's a representation from the 20-year anniversary from winning the gold trophy for the Invincibles. And they're giving that to this crowd. That bottom win the league title. It's embarrassing. They'll be selling fucking dog tags and dog collars next, there, boy. You know, it's laughable. The whole thing is a laugh. Warren put up a petition, and I saw his thing on WhatsApp there this morning, and I tell you, boy, I had to drive. I was working all day. I had to drive from Wexford to Carrigan Shore in a coach, and turn around and drive from Carrigan Shore back to Wexford. So I was gone for the whole day. But what I'm saying to you is, the word going that petition. There's 6 people, or I think 5 or 6 people have to sign it. My question is this: we have a group between us all, and we all come from the same hymn sheets. I question: are we all going to come together and sign the petition? All of us. Are we all going to be the one voice? Are we going? I know we're a small minority at the moment, but the more we speak and the more louder our voices are, maybe things will start shaking up a bit in this club. And I'm hoping that next season we will be proved right, and that more fans will see what we're doing and jump on board, because things have to change. There's no, like, I guarantee you 30,000 people today bought that no home jersey. Guaranteed. Crankers and the boys are sitting back and they're laughing. They do, smoking a big Cuban cigar. I see the PR stunt that they did with Arteta, and he walking down the tunnel and out onto the field there yesterday, and our Arsenal. And the other day, the players, they're coming out one word to describe the new jersey. Martinelli, Ray. What the fuck does he know? Special. All these type of words, Bingo. Just want to describe the jersey in one word. All these players coming out describing it. I describe it for you. Losers. That's what I'd be saying. Losers. They come out today and they smash Wolves 5-0. Jesus, Saka. Everyone picking them up. Where were they for the last 8 weeks when it mattered? Nowhere. What did they do? Hand out contracts. £290,000 a week to Saka. No problem. For what? What has he achieved? What have any of them achieved? That's what they've achieved. Zero. I'm sick of it. The PR, the fan base. AFTV has the correct answer for it. Don Robbie and his troops. Talking shit. And all it is about is that money. They don't care about the club. You're on about the players. You're on about the club there, Del Boy, loving the fans. They don't love the fans. They don't care about the fans. The board, the owners, the manager, the players. They come out there on Sky Sports after a game. Oh, it was a great win. We did it. We did it for the fans. And they're fucking driving by the fans down at the gate. Young fans waiting for autographs and pictures. And they're driving by them in their Mercedes-Benz. 200,000 and 300,000 pound cars. And they're coming out Sky Sports. I did it for the fans. 20 minutes later, they take their shower, dressed into the cars with their supermodel wives, and they're gone. Little children like your children, Del Boy, my child, sitting there, or standing there, trying to get a picture and all. They don't care. Do you think they care if they get back to that? They don't care. They're going home to their mansions. They're going home to the millions and millions in their bank accounts. Supermodel for girlfriends and wives. And they care about us? Are you joking? That day is well gone. And it's fans like us that care. It's fans like us that cry, scream, jump for joy when we do win something. Because we care. And I can guarantee fucking tell you something here tonight. If I had an opportunity to play for Arsenal Football Club tomorrow morning, I'd die on the pitch to win that game. Die. These lads are jumping around the place. If you touch off. Players overhyped that one. I'm sick of the hype of this club. The manager, he cannot be touched. He's made out to be some kind of god. What has he achieved? As a player and as a manager? Zero. Saka, Starboy, Odegaard, the greatest captains to slice bread. The list goes on. Overhyped footballers at an overhyped club. Our club is finished. It's not the Arsenal of old. They got rid of that crest. Don't forget that. And they gave us this new stupid crest that means fuck all. The ball is from a great stadium to a Mickey Mouse stadium. And all that was for was that money. But what have we succeeded? What have we done in that new stadium? Nothing. The whole thing is embarrassing from top to bottom. Bringing in dogs and bringing in players like that Fabio of the Year and Kia Warren. These kind of players, it's nonsense stuff that's going on. I know we have the summer coming up, the transfer kitty coming up. Everyone be talking about Casado, Declan Rice. The list goes, we've been listing 60 players. And we've been looking to get 3. And what would them 3 do next season? That's what to do. 0. Lose the mentality. I see in the chat there on Instagram. I see people just writing in there a few minutes ago about Madison coming to Arsenal. I give you my answer right here, right now on the Dead Boy Show. I don't want to see Madison at Arsenal Football Club. I don't want to see Harvey Barnes at Arsenal Football Club. And I certainly do not want to see Tillmans at Arsenal Football Club. And the reason why I say that is because they're just after getting fucking relegated. Not good enough. Losing mentality. I want champions at my club. Until then, forget about it.
They're harsh. Manny, I'm just going to swap you around. Remember, you come back in now in 2 seconds because I have a few in the waiting room, and I just want to get Darren's opinion. Is that okay? I'll drop you back in. Yeah. I'll just get Darren back in here. I just want to hear your opinion, mate. Darren, sorry for keeping you waiting. As I said, I can only have 6 on at a time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to rotate as we go because I want everyone to get their say. What's your sort of make on today? We 5-0 Wolves. We're bouncing. Why is Kyle complaining? Matt, myself, Warren. Are you complaining?
Yeah, I'm complaining. I mean, look, 5-0 against Wolves. I knew that was going to happen. I predicted, I think, 3-0. I was 2 goals out. But it's a sad day, really, because I think we've punched above our weight this season. I don't think we're the second. I think second flatters us as a football club because don't forget, we were winning some of these games when we should have been losing them. And I know people can say, yeah, but we won and da-da-da. But I hear that they reckon that 5 in, 8 out, yeah. Well, they need to go and get an accountant in the football club, right, to look at squad depth because we need 10 in and probably 12 out. I watched the Leicester West Ham game today, and I'm not always going to agree with everyone on this. And I have to say that having watched the game, I feel that Tielemans and Harvey Barnes coming into Arsenal, maybe not as starters, but squad replacements would be good signings for us. Just because I say Tielemans is good, let's go and get him, I don't necessarily mean let's put him straight in the first team. This is the sort of player we might just need as a backup, yeah? But I'm telling you now, Tielemans would be better than Xhaka from watching him today. The bloke, he gets the ball, he rarely gives the ball away, put a cross in for one of the goals, and this is just a complete farce of a football club where everyone's going bananas there today, about getting in the top 4. And we all know that's nowhere near where we need to be aiming. So I want to see a club and a squad that have got about 3 or 4 Tielemans in midfield. So when people get injured, the Tielemans clone, if you like, can come in and slot in. I only think Odegaard is just above a decent player. He's not a superstar, is he? Odegaard, he's not. He's not a superstar. That's not to say that he can't be one day because he has been banging the goals in. Has he got 15 goals this season? That's not to say if he buckles down in the summer and thinks, I'm going to go and put another 30% on the top of that, and get 20 or 25 goals next season, that he can't be a superstar. And I really hope that that's somebody getting hold of him and saying, Martin Odegaard, by the way, good season, reasonable season this year. You got 15 goals, which was better than the last season. By the way, we want 20 or 25 goals out of you next season. Otherwise, get out of the club. Get out. By the way, we want to win the league. And by the way, we want to progress in the Champions League next season. And by the way, we don't want to be throwing away the FA Cup and League Cup next season. We want to be in all these trophies for as long as we can to keep ourselves match fit, raring to go, fighting on all fronts. That's what the Arsenal that Wenger built up with us in the time, at the end of the time at Highbury. That's what he achieved. When he come to the Emirates, it just dived because I think he just saw money, along with the board and a lot of other people. So really, we need to be getting out there. I can't wait now. So forget this season now. That's all gone, finished for me, done. This is always going to be remembered as the season where we could have and should have, but we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. And why didn't we? Because we didn't have the killer instinct. We didn't have the manager who can't set our team up properly. Yeah. Today I see Brentford have just done the double over Man City, right? Because why? Because they've got a tactical manager, right, who knows how to set a team up, who don't play the same way as Man City. They've got other strings to their bows that Man City probably might not be able to cope with. But all the so-called nous that Arteta's got is a carbon copy of Pep. But Pep's been doing it 10 times longer than Arteta. So guess what? It ain't gonna fucking work, is it? So dream on, deluded Arsenal fans who think that Arteta's the best thing since sliced bread. If you really want to do something for your football club, get him out. Get him out of this club. Yeah? Once we start leaking points in the first 10 games of this season, when we get Man City away and we get Liverpool at home and we get tough fixtures, yeah? Once we start dropping, get off your arse in the seat, get up, shout, boo, and say, get out, Arteta. Start voting with your feet instead of get all this clap, clap, clap nonsense and being positive to the detriment of the football club. You know, it's just too lax. It's too nice. It's another car crash waiting to happen. We could all see that we probably weren't there. We're winning the league. And I'll admit, I got scammed. I thought, we're 8 points clear here. You've got to put some respect on this. And we were putting teams like Man United and Liverpool's away at home. But again, we come back to the old adage. What did we do away from home? I'll tell you what we did away from home. Old Trafford, beaten. Man City, beaten. Liverpool, draw. Newcastle, win. But really, what's that? That's 2 defeats, a draw, and a win, probably against the least credible of those top tier teams, right? So that ain't good enough. Simple as. If you want to go and win the league, you've got to be gutsy, you've got to dig in, you've got to game manage. You've got to be able to think, right, just because we can't go and race into a 2-0 lead, that's not the end of the world. You've got to think, even if we get to 70 minutes or 75 minutes and it's 0-0, nick a goal, 10 minutes left, come away with 3 points. Can you see Arteta ever wanting to play that way? I can't see it. And he's got no plan B. It's all the same Pep Guardiola cloned football of moving the ball quickly and all this. And yeah, all right, it looks good against the lesser teams. But, if we had a Don Carlo, right, he would be able to play that stifling sort of football. All right, it's not going to be the most exciting sometimes, but you're going to win. You are going to win. So, I mean, my ideal now would be the only way I can get slightly enthusiastic about next season is if we go and bin 12, bring 10 in, and we go and get 3 players that are 60 million out of them. I don't necessarily want 100 million players all the time because I don't think they always work. I think it's your 20s and your 50 million players that are hungry, that are up and coming, that want it, not big time Charlies. They're the ones I think that are going to win you Premier Leagues and cup competitions. And by the way, not cast-offs, not 19-year-old wonder kids from Brazil who spend 5 minutes around the first team and then it's apparently obvious they're not ready now and they get binned off somewhere on loan. That is not what we need right now. It's not what we need. So I'm looking forward to the fixture list, seeing who we get. And I'm really knuckling down to getting Arteta out because he just looks like a little lost boy to me, and he's bluffing it. He's blagging it. He blagged this job. He blagged it.
Oh, right.
He come in. He had no experience. He's a chancer, and they've got a patsy in at Arsenal. The bloke's a patsy, someone who's just there to look after something, just make sure it don't completely fall apart and we go and get relegated. But con the fans into thinking, oh yeah, we good, yeah. Oh, nearly. Oh, what about next season? Yeah, but next season, yeah, but well, it's a good future. Oh, we got a young team. Oh, next season. No, it's today.
Yeah.
Fed up with it. Fed up with hearing next season.
Yeah.
Today.
Today's the winners. Like, you know what I mean? You have to look. Like I always say this. Like being like Matt, Kyle. You'll understand this from being from different countries. You're not in England, okay? Like for me, having 2 boys, and they're supporting Arsenal because of me. Now, I gave them free reign. I just said, look, boys, you go with what you want. Like, but they seen how passionate I am for Arsenal, how fucking... We all seen Kyle Walsh's passion for Arsenal, if you've seen the video. You know what I mean? That's the way I'm pretty much similar enough to Kyle, And that's why they support Arsenal. But like, if you're from a different country, the kids nowadays want to support the best team. That's what they want. They don't want to support, oh, well, I remember Arsenal in 1989 in Anfield and winning. They don't remember that. They'll never, obviously they weren't born, but what I'm saying is they won't remember that type of era, the type of football that it was. I'm trying to explain still to my boys what the Invincibles was like. What it was like to be an Arsenal supporter back then. You know what I mean? A draw was an absolute disgrace. It was just, what the hell is going on? People, Arsenal fans going mad. We drew with who? What the fuck is this? We're the Invincibles. Levels up here. You know what I mean? Matt, I just want to say to Static's comment here because it's something that's actually bothering me, okay? Just before I say that, please hit a like and subscribe on my channel if you don't mind. And check out Kyle's, the Southern Gunners, Mr. B, Warren, and Darren as well. And please do check their stuff and Darren's socials as well. But it's a question I want to ask you because this concerns me. I think Trossard is a top quality player. I rate him, okay? I think Trossard is the new Kieran Tierney. And I'm going to leave that with you. What do you have to say about that?
It was funny you bring it up, man, because I heard somebody in Lee's chat today said that they think he's going to be the new Pepe. They're going to turn on him after a while, too. And it's funny you bring that up, man. We hadn't talked about this at all or anything.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Shout out to Static as well. Trossard, we spent. I want people to understand this, and Static will know because he was in the chat. I pull up the transfer chart from the last couple of years. Kyle knows this from yesterday, and Warren as well. When you look at the money we spend, Del Boy and Darren, we spend good money on players and don't play them, or we waste them. Trossard, you're spending $24 million on him, or 28, whatever it was, in January. He comes in, he does a bang-up job. It's very rare that you can get a player at that kind of money that come in and do a job from the ground up, out of nowhere. Doesn't have to bed in, just hits the ground running. And then this manager decides, you know what, man? I'm going back with what I want. Yeah, this is working, but I'm going back to Jesus. To hell with Trossard. Make the fans feel good. Looks like we're doing a little something. We're gonna go back with what I want to do. Doesn't matter if it's working. Doesn't matter if Tierney's a better defender. It doesn't matter because I call the shots. The arrogancy of this manager has cost us a title. It's plain and simple. Trossard should have been starting until the end of this season. What did you see today, you all? What did you see? The ball was moving better. He just provides something different. He's when you get a player that's 28 years old, that's been in the Premier League as long as he has. He's been around the block a few times. He knows. He scored 3 goals against Liverpool. How is this man not so? Why is this man not starting? That's the question that needs to be asked. Remember, I told you yesterday, Kyle, I said this year we have to stop and analyze this past season. The questions need to be asked. Why was this man not starting the crucial stretch of games in which we were lacking attacking options, lacking goals? Why is it we're buying these players? And I went there. We start buying these top dollar players. We're not playing them. We spent $72 million on Pepe, loaned him out. Just think about that. We spend the money we spend on players, and we'll get rid of them for nothing. Zinchenko, throw him at left back. Clearly, he's a midfielder. Tierney, look at Tierney today. Look at that. Look at Tierney today. Look what a sad way to end your Arsenal career. Kivior at left back today. Yes. Kivior at left back. We spent $28 million on Kivior to play him at left back. When we bought him, they didn't tell us. They didn't say anything about he was a left back. They bought. We're buying a center back for the future. It's going to lead us to the top. You know, we go out and we buy these players, y'all, and then we don't even play them, or we don't use them, or we don't do what we need to do. Trossard came in and gave us top flight performances whenever he was on, outside of maybe a game here or there. And we squandered it. So the question needs to be asked. Let's say we do go out and get top flight players next year. Champion. Let's say we all proven wrong. Do we trust this manager to do what is right going forward with these players? We can go dig up Pele out of the ground and Maradona and put them on the pitch. Do you think that this manager could get a tune out of any player? We can go get Messi. Messi's available. Let's go get Messi and let's go get Neymar. Let's go load him up. Do you think that this manager can get a tune out of these players? And that's what it's ultimately going to come down to next year is can this manager, because we all know reality. We all want him out, but we all know that this man is going to be here next year. And as I stated earlier today, I'm giving the manager 10 games flat, no questions asked. 10 games flat. I'm not going to tolerate it like I did this year. Warren is ahead of me. Warren's already demanding changes. I'm going to give him 10 games, and that's it. The leash has to be cut short. No pun intended for any of my dog fans in the chat. The leash has to be cut short because we cannot go into this season next year and put up with the crap we put up with the second half of this season. We cannot do it. We cannot tolerate it. If we do not have quality signings, I'm going to say it again, world-class quality signings by the end of June, not July, end of June, the heads need to roll. Heads need to roll and questions need to be asked because we have not finished in first place. So therefore, we know it's a problem. We didn't finish in first place. So you already know that there's problems there. That means issues need to be addressed and it need to be addressed swiftly. I expect within the next week, we're going to hear Liverpool, Man United, and probably City have already made signings. If not by the end of tonight, somebody tonight is going to have a signing, and we'll be talking about it by the end of the week. We'll be talking about it. We'll be on these fan cams talking about how does everybody else got their business done and what is Arsenal doing. We've been through this song and dance before, over and over and over, gentlemen.
Mass, we've already signed our player, Mass.
The
The
dog.
dog. That's the dog. I figured. The dog.
They can throw the dog up centre forward instead of Eddie Kincaid next season.
The dog. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Because- Yeah, no, like sort of, Matt, you're spot on. Like, what frustrates the life out of me is, we'll probably sign a player, and you think, like, I'm going back to when Shaka signed, and I was just there. It was during the World Cup. I forget when it was. And the next thing we signed a player, and I was there. Oh, right, okay. Maybe Arsenal have changed their mind and just go, let's go early. Let's get our players in. And then for the tour that we're going to do, let's get them in on the tour bus, the airplane, whatever they're getting on. Let them get to gel together. Because guess what? At the end of the day, they're humans. So, like, let's say now we're all on a team here, and Kyle Walsh-Gunner could just go, that Del boy's a fucking asshole. He needs to know that.
Yeah, he needs to know that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you bond by that. And that's how people bond. It's humanity.
Del boy, do you remember when we signed Alexis Sanchez? Y'all remember that deal got announced like during the season? If I can remember all the way back, I think that deal got announced during the season or right before the World Cup or whatever. That we had signed him. It was something going on. I just remember it was done way earlier than I expected. And I'm with Darren. I think we need to be bringing in players that need to be coming in that can challenge current players, no matter if they're starters. Everybody's job, I just said this on Gunner. Everybody's job needs to be up for grabs. I'm sorry. It's time out for the laid back beach mentality that we have at this football club where we cannot have players to challenge other players. No, it needs to go back to the glory days, back to where it used to be. A player can come in and challenge for your position. It's your job to keep your position. It's your job. That's what you're paid to do.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
First of all, I'm giving my brother and my nephew the two fingers. The two of them are after arriving down here celebrating. Man United scumbags. And they're down here celebrating in front of me, delighted with themselves. So I just gave the two fingers, told them to get over my place. They can walk. If I get up off the seat, box head, I'll throw two them off the balcony. But anyway, as I'm saying, then, boy, just breaking news for everyone on the panel and in the chat. Breaking news. Are you ready? Arteta's after coming out. He's after speaking. This has been a special season for Arsenal Football Club.
Hey, he's right. It has been a special season.
Good.
Special season. Very special season because only one team could be at the top for 248 days, 93% of the year, and bottle. Hey, put him back up there again, Del. Put him up there again. Put him back up there again. And bottle the league. He's right. It was a special season.
Specialist in failure. Specialist in failure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just because I've loads of people here trying to get in, and I just want to Mr. B just gives. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt. Actually, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to scoot out of here. But I will be reaching out to everybody that's on the panel at some point during the summer to come over to my side. We'll have some fun over there. I want to say thank you all for having me on during the season this year. It was wonderful getting to meet you all. I have thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you all. I enjoy listening to you all. Fellas, this unplug from this season so that we can keep a little bit of sanity because otherwise this will drive you crazy. Make sure you check me out, Southern Gunner. Make sure y'all go sign Warren's petition. Warren, you got to send me that petition. I went to look for it in my inbox. I didn't see it in there. So drop it in there so I can sign it. And everybody have a great summer, man. And hopefully we'll be getting together talking about 4 world-class signings that we have on the team. But something tells me deep down in my heart that ain't happening. So, because
First of all, before you go, Master, I just want to say big up to you. Thanks for having me on your show and being in touch with me there as well. One the real ones, and it's a pleasure to get to know you, my friend.
Likewise, fellas. Likewise.
Oh, man.
Yep. All right, gentlemen. Y'all have a good one, man.
Yeah, and Warren,
Cheers, bro.
just, for everyone,
Take care, man.
do check out the Southern Gunner and please subscribe. Just drop a subscription. It's free, as they say. You know what I mean? So please do check him out. I'm just going to throw on this fella here who's been waiting patiently in the background. He got his he was chopping wood out there earlier on with that jacket he is on him. But look, who's he going to chop now? You're also there, but let's go. Well, let's go, Brandon. What's the crack?
Who
How do
we,
you
who we
feel?
chopping?
I'm chopping everyone, but you brought your chopping number one jacket, so let's go. Who are you
Who
chopping?
we chopping? We're chopping Arteta's head straight off his shoulders. That's what we're doing. Well, fellas, where do we start? Let's start with today, shall we? It's no surprise we won because I believe in the last 9 seasons, we have won every single one of our last game of the season. And 7 of them have been at home. It's amazing, isn't it? How the team turns up when the pressure is off and there's nothing to play for. Who knew? But if we're talking about next season, a lot of Arsenal fans, especially the Arteta sexuals, are very confident that we can go one step further. I'm not so confident. And I know you boys ain't either. And I'll lay it out for you. Number one, we've still got Arteta as manager. And he has proven since he has been here that he cannot compete in multiple competitions. We have been in the Europa League 2 out of 4 seasons that he's been here. And we have failed in that competition, getting knocked out by teams that we should be not be getting knocked out by. The FA Cup, the League Cup, more of the same thing. Next season, we're going to be playing Champions League football. Completely different level of football. And people are expecting us to maintain what we showed this season in the league, as well as play Champions League football against much better opposition. I'm sorry, but anybody who's out there saying, yes, it can happen, I'm afraid you must have been dropped on your head several times as a young child because you're living in cuckoo land. So for me, number one, the manager has proven time and time again, especially towards the business end of the season this season, that he is still tactically inept. He still cannot make the right decisions at the right times when it comes to game management and player management. So that's number one problem. Number two problem, the player's mentality. I'm going to keep harping on about this over and over and over again. The player's mentality is the reason we are not sitting here today as league champions. Because, again, with the business end of the season, they showed that their mentality is weak. Weak. We had more than enough to beat Southampton at home. We had more than enough to beat West Ham when we're 2-0 up. We had more than enough to beat Liverpool at Anfield when you are 2 goals up. Mentality cost us. And if we're talking about mentality as well, right, I was very angry last week after we lost to Brighton at home. I'm very angry again when we lost to Nottingham Forest. And the reason being is because it was still, and it sounds stupid, but it was still mathematically possible. Regardless of whether us, the fans, had already given up, you are a professional footballer. Hence the word professional. As a professional who gets paid hundreds of millions of pounds a year to kick a football around the pitch, I expect a better mentality than what they showed in them 2 games in particular. Because yes, like I said, the fans may well have given up. I had given up. We had all given up. And we all knew that it was going the way of Manchester City. However, as a player, you should never fucking give up. If you want to call yourself a professional in any field that you are in, you never, ever give up. And they did. They threw the towel in. They accepted the reality. And it was easy for Manchester City in the end. I mean, it was that easy for Manchester City that Pep Guardiola went, do you know what? We've got bigger fish to fry. Oh, we've heard that before, haven't we? But Pep Guardiola went today. We've got bigger fish to fry. We don't need to. We've already won the league. We don't need to field all our best players. Let's rest a few players. We've got the Champions League final coming up. We've got the FA Cup final coming up. We'll field a few of the kids. And, Brentford went on and won the game, deservedly so. But let's be real, that wasn't the main Manchester City team. If this was a game today which actually meant something to them, you wouldn't have seen Guardiola field such a weakened side, even though he can field whatever side he likes. It's not a weak side at Manchester City. Number 3, we need 5 or 6 top quality signings this summer. 5 or 6. And when I say top quality signings, I don't just mean top quality as in the quality, but they have to bring leadership. They have to bring the correct mentality, not the mentality that we've been shown this season. And at least 2 or 3 of them signings have to have had Champions League experience. Because we have Jorginho, Thomas Partey, Jesus and Zinchenko as the only 4 players in this Arsenal side that have Champions League football experience. Apart from that, you're looking at everywhere else around the squad. Nobody else has ever played Champions League football. So, with that in mind, do I think we have enough in terms of our squad to go far in the Champions League? No. I believe it's going to be an embarrassment. I believe we'll probably get out the group stages, but that's about as far as we will go. And then on top of that, you look at this season, right? In our first 19 games this season, we took 50 out of a possible 57 points, and we still didn't win the league. So if we didn't win the league when in the first 19 games we took 50 out of a possible 57 points, you have to be able to maintain that again next season and replicate that. But not just in the first half, but also in the second half of the season, whilst playing Champions League football week in, week out. And I'm afraid I just don't feel like we've got the squad or the manager to do it. And my prediction for next season, obviously depending on the transfer window and what happens, but as Seven Gooner already pointed out, we can all sit here and say we expect 5, 6 top quality signings. We all know Arsenal will probably get 2, and then they'll fill in the gaps with a few average players. We'll probably get 4 or 5 players in, but only 2 of them will be top quality because that's what Arsenal do. And I believe that if that happens next season, we will struggle to make the top 4. And we will go out very early stages of the Champions League. And then we'll be sat there thinking, well, maybe we can mask over this season by maybe winning an FA Cup or a League Cup. I believe that from where we are right now, we'll be taking a massive backward step. And as Southern Gooner already pointed out, and I 100% agree with him, I'm going to sit back this summer. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to get into arguments with so-called Arsenal fans on Twitter or anything like that. I'm just going to sit back, chill, see what the club's got to do, see what the club is going to... This summer, the club is going to tell us everything we need to know about the club. If the club want to be the best, they will go out and do what required. If the club doesn't want to be the best and they want to remain this top 4 side that's happy with champions qualifying for a competition we're never going to fucking win and never going to compete in, then they won't go and do what required. And I believe whichever way you look at it, this is Mikel Arteta's final rodeo as Arsenal manager. This is his final season. Because ultimately...
Big statement. Big statement.
I believe it's true, Del, to be honest with you, because ultimately, right, if you look at where we are now, it's a good thing for us. Not just for the football club, but for us. Because now all these fans who back the manager, they're now going to see his inadequacies. Because they can't sit there and tell us, well, no, you're wrong, because we're making progress. Because the only way we're making progress next season is if we win the league title or we win the Champions League. If we make a backward step, there's nothing they can say. And they will have to join the dark side, come, apologise to us, even though they'd never do that because they're ignorant fuckers, and say, yes, you were right. The manager's not good enough. The players are not good enough. Whereas we can see what's coming already. We're not stupid. A lot of these Arsenal fans online are thick as shit. And let's be honest, they are. We're not stupid. We know what's coming. So I'm going to chill. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to relax. I'm going to come back next season and Mikel Arteta gets 10 games. 10 games to prove that he can get us into a position where we need to be. If after 10 games we are nowhere near, I'm calling for his head and I ain't stopping till he's gone. And that's it.
I understand where you're coming from, Brandon. What I'm going to do is this summer is I want to hurt the likes of AFTV, okay? Because they're the fucking rotten shower of bastards in my fucking eyes, okay? Because these clowns, as I said before, and I won't even go into it this much because if I go into it, I'll fucking blow my head and I'll get annoyed. But I'm going to do this for the likes of everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel and stuff like that. And I don't have, I'd say 1% of what they have, like, you know what I mean? Their traction that they have. But I'll tell you one thing. I'll support everyone that's in the chat here, everyone that's on the panel, and I'm going to make a little wave for them and just be a pain in the hole for them. And I'm going to do stuff through the summer, and I'm going to take the piss out of them as well, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because, hi, welcome along to the Arsenal AFTV Transfer Daily, where Arsenal Fan TV bring you all the daily news. Fuck off. You read shite from a fucking newspaper like Chris Watts and fucking dickheads like that. You know what I mean? That's not fucking news. You're bending over backwards for this club. For the fans, by the fans. Ask me bollocks. And I'm sorry for cursing, but ask me bollocks. Because you guys, as I say, and I've seen it, fucking coming down from the fucking club, fucking all these fancy fucking places in the Emirates, which you get free, by the way, okay? I'm just taking the piss out of them, and I'm going to just, be a thorn in their side. Because I'll be the one, when I go over next season, I'll be the one going up straight up to Robbie, like I do all the time. Every time I go to a game, I go up to Robbie. You know what I mean? And I think the next time I'm there, I might have this fella here beside me. What are you saying, Kyle?
You will have me there, 100%. And what I'm saying is this about that AFTV fake bullshit. I said it last night on Southern Gunner. I'm saying it here tonight. Arsenal played Chelsea. You were at the game, Del Boy. Up in the Viva Stadium in a pre-season game years ago. You were there that night, yeah? I came out of the stadium, went over to Don Robbie, had an interview, told Don Robbie what I thought of Mizu Ozil being one of the worst signings, if not the worst signing in Arsenal football history. An absolute disgrace of a man. Disgrace to the jersey. And I told Robbie about it. Robbie argued his point. I argued my point. I also told Robbie where Arsenal Football Club was back then and where it was going to be in years down the road. And here we are, proved right. Where was that interview? Nowhere to be fucking seen. I wonder why. Because I went against the grain 7 or 8, 9 years ago. Yeah. I told him straight up, you're talking shit, Robbie. And not here. I wonder why. Because it's all PR, it's all bullshit, it's all about that. Poison.
come here.
Cancer.
Kyle, I never told you this, right? So see, when you were getting interviewed, right? Now I swear to God, I was standing behind the camera. I never told you this, right? I was standing behind the camera. Now I can vaguely remember you giving it fucking large to them. What's his name? Theo or fucking something like that from AFTV, who does the camera and does the editing and all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to DT, I was telling the truth. Like, look, their noise and Robbie and stuff. Robbie obviously loads of times and all shit like that. But I listened to them. I got an in as well. They didn't air me. I don't know if it's an Irish fucking what, but they didn't fucking air me because I lashed into it as well. Because I think when you get me going, I get you going, and it's fucking an Irish thing. I don't fucking know, but yeah, I lashed in.
I went away at Brighton last season.
Off.
What's going on here? Can you hear me there, Brandon?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think things have frozen up a bit.
For there, boy. Darren, you were saying there you were on you went to Don for an interview.
No, I went to a away game last season, Brighton away, and I was shocked at how much the away fans didn't like Robbie, didn't like him. I mean, they sang a song about him that was actually quite personal and quite vicious. I won't say what the song is, but probably one of the worst accusations you can ever have against you. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
which
like,
I think
it's
a little, that's going over the top a little bit, but you know, you'll be surprised in how much people don't like AFTV. They don't like it.
I'm like, come here. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised, Darren, because like it's like from me being at the ground and talking to people and like not probably fuck all that know me, obviously, like you know what I mean. But like you get talking to real supporters, and I'd always ask the question, "What do you think of AFTV?" And I'd say 70% of the time they're just there. They're a cancer. They're this club. You know what I mean? So we're not the only ones that think. And Big Up Central, you're in the chat. Sorry for keeping you for stuff like that. What do you think of today's game and the whole season in the whole?
Sorry, Mike.
I think the game. I don't really care about Worms. You know, it's just like it's a lap of honor for the players for finishing second, and overall, I think it's been. I thought like this is our year. We thought like we're gonna win it. I thought like after beating beating Manchester United at home, beating Tottenham away, thought like we're on 8 points, 11 points clear. I thought we were going to win it, but unfortunately we bottled it in the final like month and a half of the season. It's just it's really sad and it's heartbreaking, and it's just all about getting into the Champions League. That's what really the season's all about. They don't give a shit. This season's not about winning league titles or winning trophies. It's just getting into the Champions League. That's all it is, man. It's like first off, Xhaka, I think he scored a hat-trick or 2 goals. I'm not too sure. I just saw the highlights. It's his last game. Thank God. Thanks for the self-proclaimed memories. I checked the team out. Kivior's once again as a left back instead of Tierney. Yeah, this is Tierney's last. I hope Tierney leaves this summer, man. I think he's been misused, man. And he's playing Partey as a right back. He's not a right back. I don't know what is Arteta's problem, man. He's he's doing what Wenger's doing, playing players out of their unusual positions. They're not, Partey's a midfielder. I don't get it, man. It's just like, this game is just like celebrating the silver medal. I'm being sarcastic. There is no silver medal if we're in Premier League. It's just basically you got to win the league or it's no good. But overall, I think I thought like maybe going into the season with no expectation, but I was sarcastically in the September time. I thought this is like we're top of the table. Hope wait until October until we're going to slip up, but no, we didn't slip up. We keep our momentum keeps going and going and going, and then going into the start of 2023, we had that purple patch, lost games to Man City and Everton away, dropping points against Brentford. But it's really disgusting. Like, why you bought a chance to win a trophy? We had a chance to win all 4 trophies this season: the league, the Europa League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup. And we got better fish for fry. That is actually just this criminal. So you're throwing 4 trophies to have a chance to qualify for the competition. We're not going to win. We haven't reached a final of the Champions League since 2006. And we're doing this BS. And now this all pandering about
Mr. Central, can I just cut across you there? I just want to say to you, like, I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here, right? Okay, in Arteta's shoes, okay. Should he, we were going for the league. If you're going in for the Carling Cup, the FA Cup, the Europa League, and the league, you have to sort of sacrifice something. I'm just trying to look at it from a super fan point of view. Would you agree with that? Or, was the league always the number one, and should we have always went for that rather than the FA Cup or the Carling Cup or something?
Yeah. Sorry, it was free. Sorry, it was frozen. It was frozen a little bit. We should have gone for this is the problem. This is the problem, Del Boy. We just pick and choose what competition we're in. What the hell? We're Arsenal. We don't. You don't see Real Madrid and Bayern Munich pick and choose what cup we're choosing. They're going for all 4 fronts. If they don't win a single trophy, you failed. I don't get that, man. It's just like Bell Fisher Fry. That's a load of shit, just win a trophy. That's all we need. We haven't won a trophy since 2020. So far since winning the FA Cup, we reached a Europa League semi-final, lost to Villarreal, a League Cup semi-final, got beat by Liverpool at home, and now we're just now we're just balling the league. That's not unacceptable, man. And then now we're going to the next season with that crappy home kit. I'm not going to get into that in my rant, but we're in part 2 or part 3. I think it's one of the other parts. We better spend this summer, man. This is, I think this is also we'll talk about. I think we're going to piss about. We are going to piss about in the transfer window, as usual. Not getting Declan Rice, not getting the players we need to not just win the league, but doing well in the Champions League, trying to win the Champions League. Even though if we're not going to win the Champions League, just do well in the Champions League. Get into not just get into the quarterfinals. My expectation of next season's Champions going into the Champions League, just get to the quarterfinals. Fuck this last 16 stage, because Everton, this is a great example. In the last 7 seasons or 5 seasons, we're getting crushed out in the Champions League. Bayern Munich 5-1, Barcelona, Monaco, Bayern Munich 2 seasons, and AC Milan. That's Arsenal's standard. Qualifying for the competition, that's the Champions League, and getting knocked down in the last 16 stage. After we're self-proclaimed win the group or scrape past our group. Anyway, that's run over for me.
No, go, Kyle. You're on mute there, by the way, so just give us a shout.
That's why, first of all, the brother and the nephew was after feeling after taking pity on me. So they knew that they were going off the balcony. So what they done was the balcony and I said the Chinese takeaway. So it's just after being delivered. So they're trying to get on the good side. But unfortunately, no one may sit down and watch Match of the Day with these 2 fellas celebrating Man United's success. telling me how good fair the season I've had while my season failed. But anyway, on top of all that, there, boy, before I pop off, I just want to say 100%. I have 207 subscribers now on my show. I'm over the moon with that because when I started, there, boy, I had 0. And big shout out to you, there, boy. When I first started this, I was doing videos 10 years ago on YouTube about Wenger, get Wenger out and all this kind of stuff. Ozil, blah, blah, blah. But then I gave up because I thought my voice wasn't being listened to. And then I came across this Irishman one time, last year, the year before, a year and a half ago, and it was Del Boy. And I reached out to him, and Del Boy actually drove down to Wexford to meet me. And ever since, myself and Del Boys became great friends. So big up to you, Del Boy, for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure over the whole season. And more to come throughout the summer. And next season be even more epic. And then I've met great people because of YouTube. And submarine here in this panel. Mr. B. Shout out to Mr. B.
Cheers, bro.
Big up to you, my friend.
Thanks.
Darren, one of the good ones. Big up to you, man. And I had to laugh. I'm a big film critic. You'll be perfect in a Guy Ritchie film. Absolutely perfect.
Can
you would, Darren.
I don't even have to say anything about Warren. Warren was exactly how I feel about Warren. And big up to Jays and Static and Mass and Lee and Kenny Kane, Gracie May, all of them. Every single person I've spoken to throughout the season has been a privilege. I'm going to leave it at this. Until I see change happening from the very top down throughout this club, we're going to be repeat for years. Not for weeks, for years. This club is fucked. So, sign this petition, get on board, and get our club back to where it should be.
Yeah, I signed it. I signed it.
Spring rolls and a few chicken wings looking at me and a bottle of Lucas head. So on that note, I'm getting the fuck out of here. But get me on my watch corner.
Okay, no.
Yeah. More content. And I'm putting out a video tomorrow. My whole thing about this season, where we failed, blah, blah. So keep an eye out for that video tomorrow. Big up to you all. And I'll talk to you throughout the summer.
Cheers, fella.
Cheers, mate. And we'll talk soon. We'll do a video soon together. I'll probably do some on Thursday if you're free.
Absolutely. And in a minute, and I'm going to do live shows, and I'll be getting all you guys on the live shows. On that note, come on, the Gunners, and fuck Man United.
Yeah, man. I second that.
Yeah, he's under pressure there, and I can understand because the person who actually recorded the video is I just seen him there. He was sort of in the background, like, you know, of the Arsenal Man City game, like, you know, when Kyle was done the video. I hope you've all seen that, by the way. If you haven't, check it fucking out. Seriously, it's mental. I don't know how many times I've actually watched that video of Kyle supporting Arsenal. It's top of the range, seriously. Yeah. Mr. B, I want to come to you, mate.
He erupted, didn't he? He erupted on there.
I think his dog sat, if you look at the very end of the video, his dog sat on the remote control and he was looking for the remote control and the dog was sitting and I think he fucked him out the door.
Oh, man.
Mr. B, I want to come to you and sort of talk to you about your channel, by the way, and please do check his channel out. There's a few in the chat here and everything like that. Please do check out Mr. B's channel and give him an L subscribe. But Mr. B, Brentford beating Man City twice this season. Has anyone else done that? Were you expecting that? What is going on at your club that you guys are able to do this and Arsenal absolutely bottle themselves?
Well, you know, I didn't actually expect it, to be honest. I was quietly confident. I was hoping. But, of course, you know, we did do that. But, unfortunately, we couldn't quite get into Europe, which was the shit in the end. But no, I mean, I think we're very well run. We don't go for any big-time Charlies, you know, into our club. You know, we work as a collective. You know, got a great manager who knows what he's doing, basically. It's all okay. We're a small club. We're sort of like a small fish in a big pond, obviously. But at the end of the day, you know, we're there and we compete all the time. We compete with the giants, you know. We're sort of the Jason to the Goliaths, you know. But you know, we are there and we'll stay there as long as we can now, and hopefully fight for Europe again next year. I hope. Hopefully get it next year. Be fantastic.
Yeah, like, you know, it's a tough league, and for you guys to come up and do what you guys have done is absolutely phenomenal. Like, you know, and I said it to you on a few streams ago, and we'll get you on again and stuff like that, and we'll talk about like all the teams and stuff like that, the statistics that you believe in, and it's not about buying big players for big millions and millions of money. It's about just getting players in, and I believe in that. I don't care how sexy my manager is or how unsexy he is. I don't care what he looks like, you know. And this sort of leads me on to what Warren is sort of petitioning, and I'd love people to sort of look into it. I'm after signing up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've signed it already, Bill. I've signed it, mate.
Warren, you know, if you want to sort of elaborate on your what's your sort of your goal, what's your thoughts on your petition, like, you know, do you want to give an update to everyone that's on the channel now? You're on mute, by the way, if you're unsure. So
Right, okay, so basically I did this petition because for the last 20 years I've seen this club not doing what is required to compete. Okay, so we went invincible in 2004, I think it was, if I remember rightly, and I thought that was going to be a catalyst for a period of domination by Arsenal. But instead of that, within 2 years, the team had been broken up. No adequate replacements had been brought in, and it was just a continual slow decline from that moment on. And I heard what the young fella who was on earlier was saying about this summer, where we're going to find out where, you know, all about what Arsenal are about. Well, for me, they've shown us for the last 20 years. Like, they're not interested in competing at the highest, very, very highest level. They're not. You know, we've, you know, failed to compete, you know, in the latter stages of the Champions League. And Leicester have won more league titles than us in recent years. Like the last time, when we went invincible, I didn't think I'd ever be sitting there seeing Leicester City win a league title before us again in the future. It's never crossed my mind that would happen, right? But this continual lack of willingness to compete, when we've got the resources to do it, everything is there. The only thing is we're not, you know, we haven't got the informal structures in place, like all those things I reeled off earlier about the treatment of the injuries, the youth development, the coaching, the training, all of this thing. And to be honest, I'm sick and tired of it. And this ownership constantly trying to brainwash people and gaslight people the way they do, the way that managers gaslighting players and fans all the time when things don't go his way. It's got to stop. And I don't want to see people being employed to do jobs at this football club who have not got the prerequisite skills and experience to do the jobs that they're employed for. Like Edu, for example, he's never done the role before that he's employed to do at Arsenal. He's never done it before. He worked at the Brazilian FA where he's working for the Brazilian national team. He's never been in a position like this at a club level before. Arteta never managed a team at all, ever, before he came to Arsenal. How is that right? How can it possibly be right that we are in a situation where we've got a head coach, stroke manager, whatever you want to call him, who's never ever done the job before, and he's learning on the job? So that's two people in really high senior positions at this club, if not more, that haven't got a clue what they're doing. It's a recipe for disaster. And as Darren has been saying for a couple of weeks, it's a revolving door of catastrophe. It is absolutely spot on, that comment, because it is. Right? It's unbelievable that this is being allowed to happen, because at the end of the day, this football club, it is not a further education college. It's not somewhere where you go to learn how to do your job. We're the third biggest club in this country. It's not Accrington Stanley or Bolton Wanderers or, I don't know, Tunbridge Angels or something. This is Arsenal Football Club, with all due respect to those three clubs that I just mentioned. It's just ridiculous. No other organisation, whether it be in football or business, would employ people at the head of their corporations who had no previous experience. If they did that, the shareholders would go absolutely ballistic. Yet our supporters are accepting this nonsense. And the reason I did this was because the owners don't seem to care. They don't care about this club. They're not interested in this club. And I find that unforgivable. They kept saying that they were going to come here and we would see them around the club. Well, they haven't been here. They are not interested. All they're interested in is getting this club into this so-called breakaway Super League. And I reckon as soon as that happens, they will sell it for a hefty profit. That's all they're waiting for. They're not interested in making this club compete and winning the major honours. All they're interested in is making money. And that's why this club, all it does is churn out merch item, merch range after merch range after merch range. Practically every 2 weeks, if not more, we get a new clothing range come out. And this is why I said the other day that this club has transformed itself from being a football club where the merchandise that was on sale at the ground and in the club shop supported the development of the football team and its quest to be the #1 club in the world, to a situation now where the football club is now completely spun 180, and the club is now an arm of Arsenal Retail Limited. So basically, the football club feeds the retail outlet. So now we're in a situation where our main competitor is JD Sports, not Man United, not Chelsea, not Spurs, Liverpool, Man City, or Man United. It's JD Sports. It's an absolute shambles. And that's why I want to get these owners out and get new ones in that are serious about making this club successful. And so that is why, and the only way that we're going to get them out is by continually putting pressure on the club, by doing petitions and doing stuff like I said today in that video that I dropped about using Trustpilot to put negative reviews in for the club sponsors and partners. And when you put in a negative review on Trustpilot, you have to give like a textual comment about the review. And it's really important that if people do this, they put in there that the reason you're giving the negative review for the sponsor or partner of Arsenal, you put in there that the reason you're doing it is because of their relationship to Arsenal Football Club. And I'm telling you now, if these companies that are sponsors or partners of Arsenal get enough of these negative reviews, it will start to affect their business. People will go, no, I'm not sure I want to look at their rating. It's like 1 out of 5. They'll go to the one that's got 4 out of 5, right? Because that's how they get rated by stars, right? So when people are looking to see which company to use, they're more likely to go with the companies that have got the highest rating. When that starts to negatively affect their business and they look, well, let's have a look at the reviews. Why has it gone down? And they see all these reviews that are negative because of their relationship with Arsenal. They're going to be on the phone to Arsenal saying, listen, you need to sort this out because we've got all these negative reviews on Trustpilot and it's because of you lot. And I'm convinced as soon as that happens, they'll be saying to the club as well that if you don't sort this out, we're going to withdraw our support and our funding or whatever it is to your club because we need to look after our business. So as soon as that starts happening, I reckon that the owners will run for the hills and they'll put the club up for sale. And that's what I want. I want a proper owner. He's a megalomaniac and he's on site and he's overseeing what these people are doing. Because for me, they're running amok. They're running amok. They're not interested in making this club successful. It's clear as the nose on your end of your face that they are not interested. So I want them out. And these things I said about petitions and Trustpilot isn't the only way, but I'm gonna keep dropping videos and stuff like that, saying about different things that I think we can do. And I'd urge other people to do the same. If you've got ideas about what we can do to try and get them out, either contact me or just drop videos about it and stuff like that. I'm going to contact some of Kroenke's other sport franchises, supporters groups to see, what sort of experience they've had of having their clubs owned by Kroenke's and what sort of how they feel about it. What there's been issues, and if there have been, what they've done and things like that. Because I want to know what they've done there as well, and because if they're further down the line than we are, I want to know what's coming next so that we can prepare for it. So that's basically about it.
Here. Well said, Warren.
Thank
Nice
you,
one, mate. It's all right, mate.
Sorry, guys. I was just change can happen. Like honestly, like what Warren was saying, can this club sort of move on and demand respect, demand results? Can you ever see that happening?
Well, I think some people in the chat here are saying people ain't protesting. Let's get one thing clear, right? Protests ain't going to do nothing, right? All they'll do is they'll get the police out to stop protests, block it off. It happens for a day and then it gets forgotten about. So anyone in the chat that's putting things in there about, oh yeah, only 10 people turned up to protest, don't matter. You could have 4,000 people and it's been done before and nothing happens, right? So you've got to use other tactics to try and, if you want to change. And let's be honest, right? If the Kroenkes all of a sudden see that they're not getting revenue in from sponsors, I don't know how it all works. But let's say you do something like what Warren's suggesting here. And the other day I got on the telly and said, instead of wearing an Emirates football shirt, wear a JVC one, or wear colours in the club, but a different brand, right? By doing things like that, all of a sudden, heads are going to get turned. All of a sudden, the Emirates there ain't going to be any Fly Emirates shirts being worn anymore. And that is what, that you need to do. I'm not saying that's going to 100% solve the problem overnight, but it might just make them sit up and think, oh, actually, we better stop treating this club like our least priority in our sporting franchise portfolio, which is what we are to them. And they might actually change. We might not even have to get them out. We might just have to change the way they operate, right? I'm not guaranteeing that's going to work. Maybe they should go. But at the end of the day, just turning up at a protest ain't going to do nothing. I'm going to shoot now, but just before I do, going back on, I want to say a couple of things more on the football in front. Think about when we blew the title. Everyone knows this anyway, but I want to state the obvious. The bottle turned up as soon as we were mathematically sure of top 4. The bottle never happened at Christmas. The bottle never happened at Easter or March, right? It happened as right on when we were guaranteed top 4. That's when the foot come off the accelerator with the squad. And the other thing I want to say as well, just before I go, people I've seen, not on this stream, but I've seen other people laughing at Brighton, Brentford. Let's be real, right? I want to say about Brighton and Brentford. They've probably got, at the moment, in my opinion, the best scouts, and they can pick off the cheapest, talentedest players that actually start elevating themselves as players, and they got decent managers that know what they're doing. Don't be shocked if next season or in the next couple of seasons you see a Brighton or a Brentford in the top 4 or even do a Leicester coming up on the rails and pick off a Premier League. Don't be shocked, because Brighton are doing very well against Man City in these Premier League games, and so are Brentford. And I don't care about it being the end of the season today, right? I don't give a monkeys, right, that Pep's put out a weakened team. That's bullshit, right? That team is out there. You've got to knock them over. Any Man City team now are not going to get knocked over easily. So they've knocked them over again today, home and away. Don't be shocked if you see a Brighton or a Brentford pushing us out of the whole thing. And what are the Arteta fans going to then say? What are they going to say? Anyway, Darren Sullivan, 49 Insta. Pleasure to be on. Del Boy, Warren, Mr. B, Central Man, and Jez again. Nice to see you, legend. See you on the next one. Don't let it all get you down. Keep the faith that we'll get our football club and team and everything back. And look out for the new fixtures and keep on doing the streams. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, Darren, for coming in, and thanks for your support all through the season.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it, mate.
Cheers,
Jez is after joining the channel. Big up, Jez. Mate. How has the season gone for you, mate? Like, I asked earlier on, I don't know if you've seen him, Man United win a cup. They're in the FA Cup, which I rate highly. I'm gutted we were out of it. They get top 4. My phone was blown up earlier on by Man United fans going, they had a better season than us. Would you agree with them?
Absolutely. They won a cup. Fact. I just wanted to jump on very quickly, Delboy. I want to give my support to Warren. I signed that petition, and fair play to Warren for doing it. The problem being, Warren, don't break your heart on it, because unfortunately, not enough people will sign that to make any difference whatsoever. I admire what you do, my friend. If I can help you, I'll help you. But the problem being is that Arsenal Football Club, the fan base are happy. The home fans are happy. And they will continually put up this bullshit. It proves it today. Crowd surfing, people celebrating like we just won the Premier League. That is your problem. That is what you're going to have to get rid of. That is what you're going to have to turn. And until you can turn that, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. I guarantee you, the Armory probably sold out today of new shirts for the fans, kids, whatever. And apparently, I've read that Arsenal have made £1 million on pre-season pre-sales. Well, that says it all. But Warren, I respect you for what you're doing, and I've supported you, and I've signed up to your petition. But I wouldn't put too much into it, mate, because nothing's going to happen. Arsenal aren't even going to see that. Sadly, they're not even going to look at it and take any notice whatsoever. The only type of notice that would ever get is if it was done by a big channel, and we know who we're talking about, and they're not going to do that because they get paid by Arsenal to put out their absolute fake crap. But I do admire you, Warren, for doing what you're doing, and if I can support you, I will support you. But on that note, guys, I've got to bugger off because I've got to go and do player ratings on Lee with Lee. But yeah, boy, channels like yours, smash it out there. It is.
Yeah.
You know,
Cheers.
we try to do it. We try as small tubers to smash it out there. Warren, you're an absolute bloody legend, man. Yeah, I respect what you are trying to do, fella. I really, really do. And I'll support you every day. Dale boy, thank you, mate. I've got to bounce. But
yeah, no bother. Cheers, Jez. Sure, we'll do a show during this summer anyway, and we'll have a chat and go through everything else through the season.
I'm going to be doing an end of season review show some point this week. So if you want to jump on that,
yeah. Send me the link. Yeah, 100%. No bother.
Take care, mate.
Thanks,
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, fella. Take care, mate.
Take care.
Central, for you, like me, is Arsenal's season, like, you know, can we, you know, this time last season, I done a sort of a end of season show, and it was probably more negative. We're not getting in Europe. We're not getting anywhere. But we challenged for the title this season. You know, can we do it next year?
This is a difficult one. It's kind of like yeah and no, because you know if we get the right players in, yes, but no. I think we got Man City is gonna, is the odds-on favorite to win again. You got like Newcastle, they're gonna spend a lot of money because they're in the Champions League now. Manchester United, they're gonna spend a lot of money. Liverpool, I don't know. Like they're gonna They're gonna spend a lot because even though they're not in the Champions League, but they're gonna proper challenge. They're in the Europa League. They're gonna spend a lot of money, but it's kind of like yeah or no for Arsenal because like it's like this is like I'm gonna give like next season. Arteta's gone to October, or I give him until November. If we're not in the same position as this season, challenge for the title, crashed out in Europe, not just like in not just like crash out of the Champions League and end up in the Europa League, but fully crashed out of the in Europe and crashed out in the early stages of the cups, like in the third, fourth round of the FA Cup and the League Cup. He needs to go, man. Like, yeah, I think it's cut for me to end this my time to have my say. It's kind of like yes or no. I don't know. Like it's basically we'll see, man.
Yeah, no, fair play. Bobby, big up to you, mate. Thanks for joining the chat. What are you saying? Are you giving Arteta 10 games next season? Was it a successful season this season? First time
Definitely not a successful season at all. When he went out and he blew it in January. Let's be honest. As soon as we went for Jorginho, as soon as we went for Kivio, and neither of those featured when we needed him. Even Trossard, if he didn't have enough faith in Trossard, I believe Trossard's delivered, but he didn't have enough faith in Trossard, so why sign him? So he played Saka into the ground. Trossard, I think, was good enough, but Arteta didn't have enough faith in him. So if you need somebody genuinely to compete with either Martinelli or Saka, go out and get him. Don't just sign someone that's cheaper. If he had that much faith in Mudryk and he was willing to make that the most expensive Arsenal signing ever, why not just go for him? And I know he's not been great at Chelsea, but Chelsea haven't been great. I bet you any money Mudryk becomes a cracking player next year, assuming things go right with Chelsea. But I don't think he... Everyone moans about the board, but at the end of the day, Arteta's got to be confident enough to speak to them. You could have anybody. The board's obviously not going to throw money at someone. They're not going to turn around and say, here's 500 million, go spluff it, spend it how you want. You have to fight for that budget. It's like with anything. If you're in a job or anything like that and you need a budget for something, they're going to try and keep their pennies to themselves. If you go to the bank and you say, I earn 60 grand a year, I want a mortgage for 240, they're going to be like, well, we'd rather give you 220. Anybody's going to argue with you. If you've not got a backbone to fight it, then that's what it comes down to. So I'm sorry to say, I'm not a big Arteta fan, but he's done good things this year. But I believe just a mental weakness, and I don't think it comes down to Arteta. I think it's something that's disconnected within that team this year. Like, how can you watch it? I believe they completely bottled it when Liverpool went 1-0 up against City and they saw how City came back. I think that put the fear of God in this Arsenal team. And then they just went up against Liverpool and they just lost everything. I think that's where we came under.
Is it like, I said it before, and I think Mane actually asked me the question, where did we lose it? Where did we lose the league? And I said the Xhaka Trent incident for me. We were winning 2-0. We were comfortable.
Yeah.
Xhaka, for me, is the leader. Let's say the mature head on the shoulders. Like, when you should be saying to other players, younger players, relax, lads, take it easy. We're in Anfield. I've played here hundreds of times before. You don't get the Anfield crowd going. He got them going.
Yeah.
That, for me, lost us the league. Would you be right in saying that, or what's
I'd say so, but I think what happened was they were too weak. The game before that was Man City, Liverpool, wasn't it? I reckon this is just... I agree with you, though. I think that Granit Xhaka altercations what led to what we definitely capitulated after that as soon as the fans got in. But there was a weakness around the team at that point. You shouldn't... If you remember a year ago, we were watching that All or Nothing thing and they were listening to You'll Never Walk Alone on the training ground. They know what Anfield is. There's a whole episode around it. How they got rattled by the fans when they knew what the fans do. You can hear the fan. If you watch a video of the Anfield tour, you can hear the fans stamping on above you and the dressing rooms. It's one of the thinnest walls that they've got within the Anfield changing rooms for the away team. It's uncomfortable. Everything's designed to be uncomfortable for the away team. So the fact that if they bottled it because their fans came on board, they were going to bottle it anyway. If they couldn't deal with fans cheering their team away from at their home ground, they didn't deserve to be winners. They didn't deserve to be in top 10. If you can't deal with fans cheering for their team, you should be a professional footballer. Let's be honest.
Yeah, like how can you?
Sorry, Dale. Right, I'm gonna have to go, man. Can I just leave this with you? I found something out. Right, do any of you go on the online shop, Arsenal shop at all? I'm sure people do here on the panel and in the live chat. I found, the player-worn T-shirts they wear in the matches. Do you know how much they actually cost? 1,500 million. For a Gabriel Jesus shirt, it's 1,500 million. Sorry, 1,500,000. Sorry.
Jesus Christ, that's just ridiculous now at this stage. Ridiculous, you know what I mean? I can't believe that.
It's disgusting.
And he wore that against Newcastle. He didn't even score in that game.
And
he wore that shirt.
I'm going to go for the next 5 minutes, but I just want to add on this.
Anyway, mate, sorry, Dale, I've got to go, man. So
shout out your channel there real quick before you go.
Right, it's Mr. Beehive Football Chat, and I'm doing a review tomorrow, probably around 5 o'clock, about this match, the result against City and everything, and obviously doing a review of our 2 seasons so far in the Premiership, how we've done and everything. It's also at Mr. B for Life 182.com if you want to subscribe, anyone. So hopefully a lot of you can make it for that. Even you, Dale, if you can come on, mate, it'd be great. You know, support me and the rest of you. So, but thanks for that, mate. Thanks for having me on again, by the way. That's brilliant. Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers,
all
mate.
the best. Cheers,
Bye.
mate.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Fuad.
Prince.
Fuad.
What's happening, Bobby? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I've lost your number. You have to drop me a text, brother.
All right, I'll text you later. You still on the same number?
I'm still the same number, ends in 557, brother.
Yeah, I'll drop it to you.
Good to see you.
Right, Prince, I want to get into you. I want to ask your questions. Successful season than United or not?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. Nah, they got a trophy. So it's not. Nah, they got a trophy. Sometimes you have to be real, man. You know? And it's, you know, I was just listening to Warren, like just said, and he has got points, like with the ownership, it's like the club, see, like, I want to say is like, you all know, I don't think, like personally, I know the club's mediocre, the owners and the AFTV, it's all connected, but personally, I don't think Mikel Arteta's caught up in it, because you know, like with the likes of Edu, you'll have an interview with him, then over in America with him, they know where he is. How could they know what time Edu's going into a press conference and leaving a press conference? Unless they're not working for the club, unless the owners ain't behind it. You know, this is one of the chief executives of Arsenal. So I don't think it's like I don't think Mikel Arteta is actually part of that creed that want to make money. I think the guy wants to win. It's like today when you see this interview, this last interview, he said, "I want the right players with the right qualities who can make impacts in the game. I just don't want no mediocre player." Now, he come out and said that just then. So he's giving out the shit of the fans. And I agree with Warren, like when he just said about the owners. I remember when Wenger was losing 8-2, when we used to go Old Trafford, 6-0. That's when I don't know if I give up. And when we had a protest against the owners, 40 people turned up, and everyone else went and bought the new tops. Only 40 of us turned up to go against the owners, and everyone else who turned up on that day promoted. They were getting promoted by AFTV with Adidas tops and all that. Went and bought the tops. So it is like we're Arsenal. It's like you don't have to be you don't have to be deluded. You can be deluded. Obviously, sometimes I'm deluded, but you can see there is a problem there. You can see it, and I just don't agree when everyone just puts it on Arteta. Because the problem's been there since the Kroenke's been there. So I'll break it off. It's like that, but I'll give you a question. Everyone knows that Arteta in January wanted the Brighton boy. They did not bring him into it. Would they have done the same to Ancelotti? Of course they would have. Would they have done the same to Tuchel? Of course they would have. These managers don't even look at Arsenal, bro. That's what I'm saying. I know the club's a mashup, but I'm not going to sit here and say Arteta has made mistakes. He cost us the title. I'll turn around and say because he's arrogant and naive. I'll say that. But the problem with Arsenal, fans got to realise, is way above Arteta's head.
Prince, I just want to stop you there. Now, I'm cutting across you because it's actually a great point, what you've just said there. And it's something that, like, I can't be a hypocrite and turn around and, like, you know, say, oh, Arteta, it's all his fault. Because in January, I know what I said. I said, after the January transfer window, I said, it's on you, Edu, now. I blamed him. because he was the one who should have gotten the players that he needed to finish off the season. And I agree with exactly what you're saying. Exactly what you're saying. Now, I just like I thought it was unfair at the time because Edu was the man who was bringing the deals in, who was getting the deals done. And I know people will probably say in the comments, Arteta has the final say. I understand that. But he has to be brought these players on a plate and just told, Mikel, I have him on a plate. Do you want him? No, this is the player I want. And Connor, I want to come to you, mate, and big up to you, mate. And thanks for dropping by. I just sort of passing the comment on to you, so I don't have to answer it. But, Arteta had us flying. January, top of the league. We're flying. Are you blaming Edu or are you blaming Arteta? Who, at that stage of the season, I'm not going to say it now, but at that stage, we're top of the league. We're ahead by a few points. Edu didn't get the players Arteta wanted.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I mean, for me, although Edu didn't get the players, which is a massive factor, because it's very clear and obvious, the first thing that Mikel asks for players that he wants. I think he gives Edu a list or something around that of players that he wants around different clubs. And when Edu can't get those players, he's like, right, I didn't get you that, but I'll give you this instead. Classic idea of Caicedo. I can't give you that, but I'll give you Jorginho because you've been interested in him the past 3 years. 3 years too late. In my opinion, to answer your question, Dale, I do think it's more, in my opinion, it's more Mikel Arteta's fault because if you look at the situations we've been in, tactically, especially in all those draws we had, tactically, it's like we gave up. He didn't have a plan B. And you've got to have that in those games. And in my opinion, in those situations, it's not Edu's fault because he's not on the pitch. He's not there conducting everything. In my opinion, it's Mikel. And big up to Dow as well. In my opinion, it's Mikel because he's not making the calls. Things like at the Liverpool game, the substitutions were wrong. Bringing on Kivior instead of Tierney or all these. It was Jorginho. Sorry, it was down to his poor judgment and his poor mistakes, in my opinion. Would it have helped if we had a better caliber of players on our hands? Yes, of course it would. But in those situations, especially when Arteta has got us into the situation of even into a title race, you can't be making errors constantly. And unfortunately, when the pressure's on, and you see it, in my opinion, you see it when we're having a good game and we're on it fully. Arteta's out of his chair. He is always in his box, directing everything. When he's in the mud, he doesn't know what he's doing, especially for those draws that we had in the losses. He just stands like this. He doesn't know what to do because he doesn't have a plan B. So that's something I think he'll learn growing as a manager. We can't forget this is his first job. In my opinion, he shouldn't have taken the Arsenal job. It was way too early. I'm going to obviously congratulate him from what he'd done this season in terms of where he got us, because I didn't expect him to even get in a title race. So I'll give him props to that, even though he didn't win anything. But it's moments like this where you do see his faults as a manager because he's young. Will he learn from it? Yes. I'm hoping next season, the thing that I'm going about with next season, because we all know he's going to be here next season. That's a fact. Edu's going to be here. The Kroenkes are obviously going to be here. Nothing's changing next season. The only thing I'm saying that will keep me on his side is do the exact same thing next season, Mikel, but win it. You've got to. You know, it's proven now that these players can compete for a league title. It's proved clear as day because we've seen it this season. Just add to the team. It's as simple as that. Add world-class talent to your team. Add the depth that we need. Get rid of the crap that we don't need. You've got a team that can compete in the league because you've shown it this season. You've shown that you can do it. Just go ahead and challenge for it. Yes, I know we'll have Champions League on our side. We've got some really difficult games there. I'm very happy we've got Champions League back, by the way. It's where we should be as a football club. Whether we get done by Bayern Munich one season or compete and get to a final like we did once, and obviously that didn't go our way, but we should be in this competition every single year. As Arsenal Football Club, this is what we should be doing. Next season, Arteta's got to learn. I know we've said that for countless years now because he's made multiple mistakes in terms of Europa Leagues and FA Cup going out, and especially the Carabao Cup this season. That was a disgrace, going against Brighton and putting the third choice goalie in. You know, it's sort of disrespecting the cup, in my opinion. But listen, as I can say, because we all know Arteta and Eddie are going to be here next season, we've just got to back the team again and just hope to God that this team now learns. You know, it's going to hurt. You can't deny this is going to hurt them. What's happened at the end of the season, especially this whole run up. You know, we've been top of the table for the past 240 something days, and the fact that we just blew it so easily was such a disgrace. And hopefully, with a bit more talent coming in, I hope that they don't mess around and get some kids in during the summer, because that's not what we need now. We need proven talent leaders. Leaders is one of the main things we need this summer, 1,000%, because that's what we're missing in this team. And in my opinion, if we had more leaders in this team, I think that could have pushed us over the line just a little bit. Because the fact that, because I go back to what you were saying earlier, Dale, about that Liverpool game, what turned it was Xhaka going to Trent. If we had a leader in that team that would have grabbed Xhaka and told him to piss off and go somewhere else, maybe it would have been different. But Xhaka was really the leader in this team. Let's be real. He was the leader. We didn't want him to be, but he was realistically the leader in this team this season. Maybe, well, I wouldn't even say Thomas Partey, because I don't think he really says enough, in my opinion. So in my opinion, it was Xhaka. So in the window, more world-class talent. None of these kids. We need leaders, proven, in my opinion, Premier League experienced winners and leaders. And we'll go again next season. But if Arteta comes out next season with no trophies, he's got to go. It's enough now. He's got to go.
No, and that's it. Like, look, come here. I'm just going to sort of have to wrap it up now. I have to... a friend of mine wants to go for a pint, so I'll have a season review with him, you know what I mean, over the pint. But anyway, I just want to say to everyone that has been tuning into my channel the whole season, a big thank you to you guys, because without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. And I honestly mean that, because there's been stages of this season where I just wanted to press delete. And trust me, I actually did want to just delete it and see his lair and never be seen again, like, you know, and just live my life and do what I do, like, you know, and moan to me family or moan to whatever about Arsenal, you know. But anyway, I'm going to keep it going. I promise you, as I am. And what I'm going to do through this season is, through the close of the season, I'm going to be doing League of Ireland and stuff like that. So check me vlogs out, right? I'll be doing all that. But I'm actually going to... I'm going to hit it hard through this transfer season, because I know what it's like to be an Arsenal fan and you're there. There's no football. There's no nothing, like, you know, and you're listening to Robbie talking absolute bollocks. You know what I mean? From, oh, he's just reading a newspaper. Oh, here's the inside. No, you know nothing, mate. All right. And that's coming from fucking me. And you can share this, fucking send it to him, whatever the fuck you want. But I'm going to be a thorn in the side of the prick, because him and his AFTV little crew, I don't give a fuck. I'll go over to fucking London. I'll be there. Doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? I can stand my own ground. I done boxing for 10 years, so anyone comes at me, yeah, let's have it. You know what I mean? And that's me saying it fucking how it is. Because I'm sick of this Arsenal fan base that think they're fucking big and mighty. You know, that's the way I look at it. But anyway, I just wanted to say, everyone in the chat, a big thank you. Because without you guys, this show and other shows, because you're always on other shows, like, you know, even Prince, you know, Connor, Warren's Central Man, and Bobby's new to the chat, and Bobby's going to be on again, I hope. Give me a thumbs up. Yes, brother. You know, but yeah, no, definitely. I'm going to do sort of a few videos throughout the season, and I'm going to promise you I'll do 2 fan cam call-ins per week. Definitely. So you guys can come on and have your say about transfers and all this shite or whatever. But anyway, me to wrap up the season, I didn't expect it. I kept on telling people I'll say what I think about Arteta this season. What I think of Arteta now, last 10 games, bottle job, not the manager for me. I don't care who the manager is. I just want us to win titles. I want us to win trophies. Arsenal threw everything into this league. They didn't go, like, you know, go for the double or like, you know, put like, you know, what you would do is you go all out on one, but mainly keep something here in the background. If we fail here, at least we have this here. You know what I mean? We didn't do that. And that's bad management to me. It's Edu. It's Arteta. That's who I'm calling out there for that, because they went all for the league. We didn't do it. The players as well, you know, Isn't man management? Isn't whatever? Saka was shit the last fucking 10 games of the season. Odegaard wasn't great. You know, Xhaka, oh, he's outstanding today. Where was he the last few games? Here we are, second position, forced loser. That's the way I look at it. As I says, thanks a million to everyone again, and I really do appreciate all your support. Without you guys, wouldn't be doing it. I'm going to get a new intro. This fella down here is going to do it, and I'm going to have it for the start of the season. But yeah, keep an eye out on my channel. I'm going to be dropping videos a lot through the season. Trust me, trust me, trust me. So Jill, hit an L subscribe, an L like would help as well, and I really appreciate everyone that has been there for me. Thanks a million. Every one of you are all bleeding legends. And from Del Boy, I'm out.